Coming up on this episode of The Brain Drain Show.
Oh, hang on, I'm not going to use toilet paper. I'm going to a t-shirt, chuck it on the roof. Why? I did surf photography for a long time. It's an expensive hobby, photography is. No one really skates like it in the way his style is. Everyone thought the American pros were here. The Flip guys went out, they went like, well, we're here too. Met Rick Howard in Europe, shooting the girl guys every weekend, or going shoot Kareem. Kareem was busy. There's more money, and when more money comes in, it gets more stressful, doesn't it?
You were there at the chain, weren't you?
Yeah, it was going so fast that I couldn't even get my camera out to shoot a photo. And that was the last time I ever filmed anything. I just took photos then from then on. Boulala was just on a rager. Bam was like right at his height. All those Transworld videos, and all those sorry videos too, when they're doing the night sessions, that's a full night of skateboarding. You want like a little nerdy bloke. He was like a big dude who had guns in the house, who like can come round and shoot you. And I distinctly remember like sitting down as like a cab there, sitting by Tommy Guerrero going, I'm definitely in animal shed. Went to the Sarah Stag do, went on that with all the boys. What would you say to me, Blender? Hiya. All right, yeah. That Pacific Beach scene was so good. Duffy was there, Muska was there. It's the biggest issue in skateboarding history. He's changed a bit since I've seen him last. I would never go like, hey, don't jump those water towers. Great photo. We don't even do a bit of an elbow shiny. Whoa. World record for air was about 12, 13 foot. Danny did a kickflip indie grab at 15 feet. The head doctor goes, got a bloke in here now, thinks he's a world famous skateboard photographer.
Good evening and welcome to another great episode of The Brain Drain Show with me, Forde Brookfield. Joined to my left is the guy that I cannot live without. I've tried to, and it's insufferable pain. His name is Toby. Tell him your name, Toby.
You just did. It's Toby. Hello.
And joined to our left, a very special guest.
It's Skin.
It's Skin Phillips over to the left. Round of applause in studio audience, please.
Thank you, fellas. It's a pleasure being here.
It's a
Thanks
pleasure
for coming
having
all
you
the way
here.
from Wales.
Oh, thank you for paying for the train ticket.
That's right. At least we
Train
can do,
all the
innit?
way from America.
Why'd you keep saying that? I was in Wales.
I know, but shall we restart?
No, that's great. Keep it going. Obviously, I'm a massive skate nerd, and you were the name that was always at the bottom of the photos in all those mags back in the day. So you're gonna have to excuse me if I fully nerd out.
Okay.
Because there's a few real skate nerd heavy questions I've got.
He told me he's been losing sleep over this ever since you've confirmed coming on. He's got so many questions.
This like.
Wait, then, is there stuff you wanted to know, or do you think the general public want to know?
I think it's probably crossover stuff. I think there's probably a lot of people my age that will be wanting to know things. I mean, a lot of it you've probably spoken about on podcasts before and interviews and things. So we'll try not to cover too much that you've already spoken about. But there's a few really deep things I want to go into there. But let's go back to the beginning, like how you, like where you grew up and photography, because that's what you're known for, is your photography and that.
So I grew up in Swansea, and there was a big surf scene in Swansea, like Langland's on the corner, and in the 70s, even in the 60s, skateboards came through in the 60s, all that like clay wheel thing came in. Same happened in Cornwall, all those surf cities kind of had that going on. So as a young age, I saw it. In the 70s, I was like really into it. In that 76, 77, every summer was, just fucking skateboard. And then photography started in 82. I just fell in with a surf crowd, skateboard crowd in Langland. They were like, I don't know, just because in Swansea there's like town and there's Langland. It's just a different, nicer area.
Yeah. Because
of the camera, I was let in with I didn't get really questioned. It was a big local scene down there. And then all those guys like Twist and Toms, those guys who I skate with, or friends now. I was like 18, they were 16, 15, 16. I know all those kids were skating from the 70s still. But in that time in Wales, there's Martin and Pete in Cardiff. There was a couple of guys in North Wales. There was probably like 10. It's probably 20 people skateboarding in Wales left over from fucking 70s, which is, you couldn't buy vans, you couldn't buy boards. You could buy boards, a surf shop there, they Friday, they kind of kept the scene going, but it went it went so dead after the 70s. It went to, obscurity, really.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because it's really hard to relay to people now that, you know, like you used to walk around and if you saw another skater, you knew they were a skater straight away. You clock their shoes.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there was just not many people about. I mean, I look back now, like when I was at school, there was 3 of us who skated, and we lived in the middle arse end of nowhere.
Yeah.
But even that was quite something to have 3 people that skated in the small area. But
And then you couldn't see it. Magazines didn't
No.
come in. There were no videos. We had the videos, but it was just not like it is now. Or it has been. It was just really, it was completely inaccessible.
yeah,
In
you
82,
really had to hunt it out, didn't you? And you had to be into it to like.
it was still going, but it didn't, you know. But then I saw it, and I saw Thrasher with the ramp battle on, and I saw the Powell videos, and then I was just like, oh my God, what, you know, that transition, that 2-year period of not seeing it really, and then kind of seeing it progressing that much.
I remember seeing Public Domain for the first time,
Yeah,
and I was just like, my mind was just blown, like 8-year-old kid seeing
Yeah.
me, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
All those little skits in between the
Yeah.
parts and all the tricks, and it was just, I don't know, it's mad, isn't it? You can't really put that into like modern day context because there's just so much content every
but then
hour
America
of the
was
day,
like
isn't it?
a different world, like a different. It was just
Yeah,
not like it is now. Now it's like just a jump on a plane. But then it was. Not many people went out there. It came through in, you know, like short spasms. You'd see them like maybe Powell videos. We got NSA videos. Some of the boys like got bootleg copies. We would watch all NSA
always
vids,
bootleg copies,
83,
wasn't it?
84. So we sort of knew, and when the mags started coming in there, but the mags then were like 2 months down the line from when it happened. So you didn't know, you know, Rad was more up to date when that came out later. But it was still months and months behind.
how did the photography side of things come in then with that scene?
I just had a camera. That's what I wanted to do. I did surf photography for a long time,
You were,
but not really a photographer. No, just
You had a
like
camera
an
and you
amateur.
wanted to document
Yeah,
it.
just and I couldn't get into college, so I just went in libraries, got self-taught, built a darkroom in the house. And, it took ages and ages.
You had a dark room at home.
Yeah, darkroom at home, and I just did film development in the house. That was in the bathroom, like just over the, you know, like board over the bath.
Yeah.
For the chemicals, the darkroom, the enlarger was on the washing machine. That was all like the old man built the thing to blanket all out. So that was really good. I learned a lot doing that.
It's a real
But,
art, isn't it?
that's
Dark
hard,
room
man.
stuff.
It was like, you know, it's like bringing in not much dough, like maybe 15, 20 quid a week. Never, 2 weeks dough. Film was still 3, 4 quid. It's an expensive hobby, photography is.
How did it go then from just shooting to getting
It went
photos
from
printed and
really slowly and eventually maybe about 87, 88, stuff got better.
yeah.
Went to the States in 89 and I saw Toby and like went around Britain, went to Transworld and I learned loads then.
But how did that happen? That did you just decide? I'm
No,
gonna go
a
to
friend
America
of mine, Twist, went to the skate camp in Visalia
Oh yeah.
in 88, and that's the one in the H Street video
Yeah.
where Hensley's skating the rail. It was like, that's just in a little YMCA in Visalia. Then they moved it up into the hills. You remember Visalia Skate Park, skate summer camp. I went over on summer camp in 89 for 6 weeks. I didn't last 6 weeks, I was in there for like 2 weeks, but in that summer camp, like Gonz came up, Todd Conginelli, like
Haven't heard that name for
yeah,
years.
oh my God, he was so good.
Yeah.
Omar,
Also, I never knew how to
Waitspire.
pronounce his name.
That's what I think he's from Conginelli, isn't it? That's what I think you
I
said.
can't
Yeah,
even remember.
yeah. Right when he was got a board on Liberty,
Yeah,
the roof
I
of
remember
Liberty,
this Pro Bowl
the
on
polar
Liberty,
board,
yeah.
polar bear. And then that's when sort of street came in, and then lots of those guys went into like not obscurity. The street took over right when that new crop of
Yeah.
vert kids were coming along.
Danny Way and
Yeah,
Hensley, and I'm just trying to think. In Hocus Pocus, there's that whole section, like
Yeah.
you said there. It's proper good. Some of that's shot on film as well, isn't it? On Hocus
yeah,
Pocus. It's
all
like-
different. Yeah.
That was another video that blew my mind back in the day.
But then when Hocus Pocus came on, they'd filmed all that. The handy cam had come out.
Yeah.
all the Powell and all that other stuff was more like all 16mm, 35mm, more 16mm. So that was all shot in a day or two.
Yeah.
Then when the handicap come out with the fish show, they were with them like Tanaski would be and Schlossbach were with them all day, every day. So the consistency. I think when that like Hensley's Park came out, it was just like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, because he kind of dipped out at that point, didn't he? Like retired.
Yeah, Matt Sturt. Like, I became good friends with Matt after. And Matt, I just think the pressure of it's hard, the fame and
yeah, I mean, it's totally
and
understandable.
the money as well,
Like,
and it was completely understandable for sure.
yeah.
With so many expectations on you, and if you're not that, if you're not that way inclined, it's hard. Lots of people have done that. I've not been able to, But Matt came back. He team managed. He was always involved. So yeah, just on a different level,
The 540 $140. So good. I
But he's so
I
good.
can hear
He's
it in
so
my head
good.
now. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
ingrained
so
in my
good.
skull. Like
Yeah.
that stuff. Like
And no one
it's
really
unreal.
skates like him. The way his
Yeah,
style
yeah.
is, and like it's
Wearing
like,
the DMs in the intro
DMs
and stuff
just
like that. Like so
the
good. You
chain
have to-
wallet and all those like.
You're gonna have your work cut out editing this, putting the overlays from Hocus Pocus. There's
Oh, it'll be fine.
so much good stuff in that.
Yeah,
That video is insane.
all those. Yeah, they were kids. All those lot too. They were all at summer camp. Daniel was at summer camp.
Yeah.
John was there. There was a few.
Colby Carter, was he around then as
Yeah,
well?
Colby Carter was there. Colby was from Phoenix, wasn't he? He was at skate
I'm
camp.
just going. Mike Carroll must have been around a little bit at that point as well, because he was at skate
Would
camp.
have been,
wasn't
yeah. He wouldn't. Carol wasn't there, but he must have been still part of it, wasn't he? I
Yeah.
think he must have been.
It was a
Yeah.
great time in skating, though, wasn't it? It must have been nice to,
Oh,
like, all of
yeah.
us were sat at home watching these videos, and you were there, like, experiencing that.
But I kind of
firsthand.
wasn't in '89. I really was not there. I wasn't. I did see in '89 when we were there, they were filming one parts of the Powell videos, and they had all these massive mirrors and reflectors at McGill's Park, and they did this like 35mm slow-po, and all my photos were poached, and they were all like double lit. They looked great, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But that's probably the only thing I saw. I was never really part of it until maybe later on, 93, 94. That's when I sort of was kind of like saw it. Kind of really when I went to America the first time in 94, when I went permanently, January 94, then I saw it like on not a day-to-day basis, but I saw it more.
Yeah.
I was there, kind of,
Must have been nice to be like January in Wales.
God, it was
I'm
so
fucking
good.
off to
The
America
weather
now,
was
see you
so
later.
good. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, but
Especially what the weather's like now, and it's
Yeah.
just the weather. Winter's just brutal rain. It's
Yeah.
just like the weather down there, especially Southern California, it's just it's like this, and
I've
it's
never
nice.
been. Have you done California?
No,
No, I've never been.
I just keep going to the East Coast, and it was hot this time. It was like pushing up to 40 degrees
Yeah, muggy.
on a couple of days. Yeah, it was
Sorry, I just want to talk about McGill's skate park quickly, and just another nerd thing. So obviously, like, McGill had the park. Was that his parents who had that? Was it a skate
sure.
shop thing? Because it's a skate shop now, still, isn't it? But
Yeah, but the park was on. I think Carlsbad was one of the oldest parks ever built in.
right, so
San
it was
Diego.
there.
And it was there, and then the DC headquarters was here in a new industrial estate. That was later. Can't remember what year the park got torn down. 1991. I remember at the time, like Oscar Jordan, would be there every day. Alfonso Rawls would be there every day.
Legend.
Jordan
Right,
Richter
that
would be
name
there
for a
every
while.
day.
Yeah.
Danny be there once or twice a week. Reece Simpson would be there every day. It was this Buck Smith. Jason Jesse came in one day. It was just this like, just every day something would be going on there. It was just
So when you moved,
the sessions there were like, all the kids were so good, so good.
and that was when you were just visiting at that stage.
Yeah,
in
just
in the late
visiting.
80s.
But my friend Tom School was staying there. We went over. He became friends with Chris Miller.
Right.
nice.
Just this other guy, Brent Fellows, who rode for Schmidt Sticks. Brent was a really good am, and we kind of had an in with these like other guys, and then all those guys partied with. We played with Ben Schroeder and all that lot, and back then it was all like the beach kind of culture, so we were all just smashing it with all those. Not that lot, but it was more. We had a little in, you know what I mean? And just because the guys that I were with could skate vert, so they would go to McGill's every day. People would know him, and we would just. But I interviewed Reece Simpson, I think, 1 year there, 1989. I was doing stuff for Rad. That was
So
one
that's
interview
what I was
did.
going to say. So when you went out there for those trips, were you just shooting as much as you possibly could to then
Yeah,
come
but
back?
then not
or...
much. It would be like shoot as much as you could, maybe like 2 or 3 rolls a week, and then maybe 1, 2 things would be good, you know. But at the end of photography wasn't up to par, and it wouldn't, you know, if it was soft or it was just not framed right, it wouldn't
Yeah.
go in because it was.
But where were you giving those to Rad?
To Rad, yeah.
Because there was skate action and
Yeah.
skateboard as well, wasn't there?
And then I went I met Dave Swift and Grant Britton in that 89 too, and when I met them, they put a face to me, and that helped a lot too.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Later on, it was more, especially when they came to Munster. That's kind of how I got the job there because I knew kind of face to face.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah, the Munster comps were quite important, weren't they,
Dude,
back in the
they were
day?
mad,
That's
yeah.
it sounds like they were
It was like
they
that,
were important because everyone we have on always references the Munster comps.
they were just that was the summer circuit, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
like Munster, and then there was Lausanne later on, the Switzerland thing, and then Radlands, obviously.
Yeah.
At that time, you would have been. So you moved to January '93, did you say, or '94?
Yeah, and then I first went to Munster in like 84, 85,
Right.
when Gonz was there. Gonz, Cab, Lance Mountain, and that was going on every year since then. So, but then in the early 90s when everyone came over, like Rick Howard, Pecky would skate, like Cardiel would like do these massive transfers in between practice and everything. It was like the practice in between, everyone would just get on and go. It wasn't like, you know, they were like back in the day. There was just a bit of mayhem to them all, which made it a bit more fun.
I mean, I only went to 2 of them. I think I did 94, 95. But it was essentially the whole industry just descended on Munster
100%,
and Switzerland. And it was mad. There was just pros everywhere. Obviously, being of that age where I was in skating, you know, I mean, still am, but at that point I was like hell bent on it. And just being around and seeing, like you say, like in practice and stuff, just seeing people, like I remember seeing Donny Barley just skating the vert ramp doing Mayday grinds and just being like just drop, no warm up, just straight in, and it's just like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
was
it
like,
opens your eyes a bit, doesn't it? Seeing that level of skating.
and then you come back and you go to Stevenage Skate Park and there's just the same old people that are there, like just fucking around, and you're like, I've just been here and seen that. But that must have been a bit of that as well, like when you were going out there in the late 80s, coming back after seeing.
But then I
seeing
was
what was going
I was
on.
looking at these photos. There's a contest in San Jose, 60, 70 people there,
Yeah,
maybe. No spectators per se, just pros.
yeah,
No one went to these
Just
contests.
skating.
They were just things that fucking happened. They put like 2 shitty quarter pipes or put a car in there, and then that would be it. I mean, at Northampton when Penny won, there was probably as many pro skateboarders and industry people there as it was spectators.
yeah.
It must have been half and half, easily.
The Radlands comps were unreal, weren't they?
Unbelievable.
Especially
Yeah.
like, you know, seeing it, and you would, you know, obviously been aware of that. Penny being completely unknown to 1 year, everyone's like, what's going on here? Then the next year it's like full penny mode.
And then people like Kareem, you wouldn't have seen Kareem before, and then you see Kareem at Ratland, and you see all these like
Costin.
lots of them, Carson, and lots of those guys that weren't really content skates, didn't roll, but you get to see people you never really have a chance to witness, which is good.
When was the last Redlands and how come they stopped?
Well,
Did it just fizzle out, or was it a change in skateboarding, or what? When was the last one?
I
97,
can't remember
98?
when the park actually closed. It would have been late 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
98, 99, and I think it was just.
For some reason, I thought it
I
closed
don't know,
later
they,
than that.
I mean, they were legendary,
have.
those comps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with St Albans, the Pioneer ones. They were the same. It was just because it was different. Like back then, there wasn't that much going on, and if there was something going on,
And there was
everybody
no
went to
indoor
it.
stuff, was there?
No, it was like you had Radlands.
St Albans,
Yeah.
a couple of things in London. You had Spitalfields, didn't you? That
Yeah.
was there for a little bit.
Yeah, but it
But
just
they didn't last. Yeah, didn't last.
and like now everywhere's got a park, and
Yeah.
you know it's just different. You know the landscape is completely different now. But it was kind of like a magical time. I think it was certainly interesting to be around and see it firsthand, and there's a lot of good stories from that time. And it's a shame really that you can't. There's not really much to compare that's similar to that now. I don't know. But anyway, nostalgia's a poisonous thing, isn't it?
It is. It's
You can
bad,
sit there
isn't it?
going on about it, and it's just like, well.
But as you get older, the more nostalgic you get, and
Yeah.
it's like the thing. Because my thing is, like, your salad days, I think it's when you're like, probably when you most get influences, when you're like 13, 14.
Yeah.
When you're 13, 14, you're like, if you're like into skating at that time, whatever hits you at that point, that's what you've always been into. Like, I skated in the 70s, so it's always like Alva, J. Adams, those names come up. And then when in the 80s, you know, it's the usual suspects, but it's not like when it hits you at like, when you're 12, it doesn't, it's weird. It doesn't, forget those, in your early teens when it hits you, that's the stuff that stays with you the longest.
When you moved out there properly, what was the run up to that? Did you have work out there guaranteed?
No, I didn't.
Was
I
it
didn't.
Just like, fuck this, I'm going.
No, I did. I was doing some stuff for Thrasher. I did some summer coverage for him. This was the year when Shipman was blowing up too. And I met Dave and Grant. I said, I want to come over, work for you. And then, okay, all right, do a Carl Shipman spotlight.
Was Shipman the first British skater to go to the States on that level? Because for a long time, I thought I was like Penny's Penny, but Shipman was 5 years or so.
Yeah, Danny Webster went over that in that era, and in the 80s and did it. Bod did it. Douglas did it. The vert skaters did it, but the first
street skaters
would have been Shipman.
Yeah.
Shipman, what year did he go over? I'm trying to think. It would have been 93.
No, I think it was.
No, he would have been, because you got on Stair in 93. I think he was over that winter. And then those guys came in 94, didn't they? Rowley.
I think I've got it in my head that they came over in January as well. I remember hearing something that Jeff came out first, didn't he? And then.
Well, he got that 360 flip cover. That was the first thing. They're like, oh, fuck, here we go. That was like.
Who shot that? Was that Dave Swift?
Swift, yeah.
Yeah,
that was that was in U.S.A, so that was around the corner from the magazine.
Yeah.
But no one was really, jumping big stuff like that. Do 360 flips like that.
It was 13 still, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was big. He did it quite not easy, quite easily too.
Yeah, he was on one at that point, wasn't he? And and then that's really when it sort of, the whole invasion kind of kicked in a bit, didn't it?
It just mad.
It kind of opened up a lot of doors though, because it's really, I talk about this all the time, but America was so kind of like, it was there and everything, Europe and everywhere else was sort of like, just sort of there.
Yeah.
But America was like the proving ground, and then when that happened and those guys are out there, it kind of brought everything a bit closer. And because at that point it was just American pros. It was, you had a few European guys.
And it was kind of like, not said, but like everyone thought that American pros were here.
Yeah.
European pros were here. They sort of run everything. And then when the flip guys went out, they went like, well, we're here too. And then when they got Arto and Bastia, and they had like such a strong team when Sorry came out, and it was it went like, went real even.
I think Flip really, like I've said it before, Flip really set the mark for British and European skating to show the Americans we're on the same standard, if not better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here that are better, and then obviously Penny just took that further.
I mean, obviously, having the shit rough ground and the bad weather just kind of preps you for, like, you go out there in those spots that
it's sunny and it's smooth.
Yeah, the weather's good.
Yeah.
You don't have that against you, so you
didn't have the crap against you for sure.
What was it like when, like, were you around the flip guys much?
Hold on, before we go on to that, because you were just saying, because I interrupted you, saying Shipman had a spotlight, talking about how you got work there.
Oh yeah. So I went to stay with Carl in Worksop. Yeah, Worksop. For a couple of days, and with his brother, we went to a few spots. Went down to London. Got a trick. We went to Northampton. Did a couple of things. Did a couple of things in London. Did it all within 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Did the interview. Shot the portrait. That was with the Robin Hood thing in Nottingham. That was one of my first big, but that was right after like the summer where it was all kind of about Carl, even though Penny won, like Carl made the move to stereo, and that kind of like Carl was the talk of the town. Carl must have gone over there in the fall or that winter. That got done. I went out I was just trying to get out of the wind, out of the rain. January, February '94, went out there. Then I got a job as a staff photographer. Then I got a job as the Barrow was there. That one working out. Steve was doing stuff, but he was kind of like doing, being pro as well. He moved on. I became like an assistant editor and a staff photographer, like in the same, all in the same couple of months, which is brilliant. They got me a visa really quickly. That all worked out good, and I was living dream now.
It sounds like it.
It was. But that time then, I mean, it was like a perfect storm for everything. So that was '94. DC started that year. S started again, and in that summer then, when Penny that Radland summer, that was the year after. What year did Penny win? He won '94, '95, didn't he?
Yeah.
'94. I met Rick Howard in Europe. Met Kareem, and then when I went back, I was going up shooting the girl guys every weekend, or going to shoot Kareem, and all that. They always needed ads, and I worked on a Kareem spotlight for a while.
Fucking
trying
hell,
to get
tell
photos.
us about that. How was it working with Kareem?
Fuck, Kareem was my boy. He was so good, but he was right in the middle of action and running all the companies. He was just on a different. I mean,
he's done all
a
right
different
skating,
level.
hasn't he?
Yeah, he done great. But I think it was just, it was fucking. Kareem was busy. Busy. He had a team. But at that point, they would be, guy's done something. Can you come and shoot a sequence of it? So they would film without a photographer, and they'd have to go back then and get the photo and do it again for the ad or something. I wanted to do this for the ad. So it wasn't like it is like now where everything is captured, everything was in. It definitely wasn't like that. It was way more natural. It was more like, right, we're going to go roll, and they would get something there when they skated.
More fun,
it was
maybe?
definitely more fun. It definitely wasn't the pressure like it. I think the pressures came in video parts. You saw the strain coming with that weight on everyone, especially as the video, that thing that really started moving in '93, '94, where you had to get, the last part was important. All these, set things for what videos became. I think there's more money, and when more money comes in, it gets more stressful, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. There's more people to
before you had the board, and then you got you're talking like shoeing, you got shoe contracts, different money, and then money came into it, which was good and bad, but that transformed it. I mean, we've seen that where we are now, and it's not like, it's different. It changes everything, and then it went boom, didn't it? After '94 when it went, and then you got Muska come in, Reynolds come in, this new jump, the bigger, it looked bigger, it was more, it was easier to shoot. It was more, they kind of took care of themselves, the guys did, they marketed themselves really well, but I don't even think people like Penny or Muska didn't even think about it. They just did, they were just kids, and it's just what they did. I don't think it was manufactured. I think it was a natural.
No, they were just effortlessly cool.
They did, yeah.
They were really fucking good as well.
Really good,
I mean, it's hard for us to, I've seen Penny a little bit firsthand, but I mean, you were there at the chain, weren't you?
Yeah.
I mean that.
In the Transworld with
that
the chain.
session is probably one of the most.
Yeah.
Most talked about skateboarding sessions ever.
One of the most important, memorable, iconic, legendary sessions.
How long was that entire session? Because on the videos, they, it sounds like it. Penny went there, one and done. It was just like bang, 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 bang.
I would say 15 minutes.
15.
15, 15, 20.
I would have thought like an hour.
No, it was coming out fucking so fast.
Who else was in on that session?
Nobody.
Just Penny?
Just Penny.
But Bill Weiss was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Weiss was there. Diedick was there. Danny Meyer was shooting long limbs down the bottom.
Yeah.
I was shooting fisheye at the top.
Yeah.
And it was going so fast that I couldn't even get my camera out to shoot a photo, to set up or take a still or anything.
So you turned up.
And then when I got back then after this fucking epic afternoon down, the best afternoon, they were like, "Where's the photos?" I'm like, fucking hell. There's no photos because it just happened so quick.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I ever filmed anything. I just took photos then from then on.
Because at that point you were filming video for sequences as well.
No, that was after that. All that video then that we were taking after the sequences, that would have finished. The videographes, we finished in 95. It went into like proper film then, because it was more money, so it was more film.
Yeah.
But then we weren't, when we shot photos, you would get paid. It would go to an ad. It would be, we didn't really get paid for shooting any video later on. It was just part of the job. So it wasn't, you didn't get paid like a buyout or anything like you did. It was just something that we did. So so that's when I stopped. Yeah, I did a little bit, but I did. But then I'd go out. I'd always go to Transworld Filmers. I'd go with our own crews. But it wasn't like that. Fuck, what year was Chain?
90.
It's got to be 90, 95, 96.
Yeah, 96. Yeah.
So just to run through.
It was in Uno, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Can you Google that?
That was 1996, I think.
Transworld Uno.
96, 97. But you'd have to. Penny, I don't think he ever had a pre-planned trick in his head to go, I want to go and do this here. But if you took him there, I remember the day we went to a couple of other spots and nothing was going, he didn't even talk. He didn't even talk when he did all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was going down so quick.
Yeah.
Just going like really quickly.
That's Penny though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that kind of enigma.
So just to run through it quickly again, so you were filming on that session as well? Did you say?
Yeah.
So
I was filming Fishy at the top.
So you were filming because I've had this image that like you were filming something, then you were like, I want to shoot a picture, but Tom had just done it.
But I did because the camera bag was here. The camera, 35 millimeters in with the high 8 or whatever it is at the time. I just carry a little before it went all Sony. All these little, remember the little Sony high 8s, little fisheye on it, and then I couldn't. Fuck, I should have pumped it to it, but you can't do the same time. But it was going so quick, I couldn't really keep up with it. I was just just that dude.
15 minutes is insane for all of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd pictured maybe like an hour. Like what was the one? Was it the switch backside flip that you kicked out on one of those, and then he did it the next
switch backside flip's the last one.
And then whoever's narrating, I forgot who's narrating it, but
Bill does it, doesn't he?
But he was just like, he told everyone, don't go to that rail.
And then not many people have been back after that.
Is it still there, the rail?
Yeah, it's
JT Olds did the kickflip nose man, he done it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the last that I know of anything that's been done on it.
But the bank, it's a slippery bank going down. It's not it's a steep.
It's not like a fun mellow bank.
It's more than 45 degrees. It's like more like 60.
Let's just go back to that a sec. He switched backside flipped into it, and the switch backside flip is perfect.
Yeah.
And not many people were doing switch backside flips of a standard that you'd think, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
It was like kind of the new trick that not many people did. But to do it into that, I mean, you saw it like.
I was in Cardiff for this a month ago, right after I did this thing with Pritch, and this guy was like, I've got this Penny footage. And it's like, it's footage that he had from a BMX demo at a boys' club in like fucking Penarth or somewhere, some shithole, not shithole, but like, you know what I mean?
Random place.
The jankiest ramp you see. Penny's like 92, the beanie, you can't see him for clothes, the thing.
So how old was he then? 13, 14?
Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Skating this mini ramp, which is like a 6 foot high mini ramp, not a small mini ramp. He's going like this, doing a trick on every wall. Like he's not stopped, he's not stalling anything. There's kickflip fakie. Then he starts doing a kickflip to come out, like a regular kickflip, like a straightforward kickflip. And he's grabbing it, and every time he's grabbing it, he's going off the side. Ramp's like 12 feet, right? It's tiny, it's like the jankiest little mini ramp. Then he kickflips, catches straight up, and then turns it and comes in. So to roll, do you know what I mean? He's got that much control. He just flip, catch. Now I'm coming in 180. So he's catching it like the feet, and then coming.
Yeah, he goes up.
So and then comes in late, instead of because if he goes this way, his body's going to go off this 12-foot ramp. So he just goes, catches, and then turns in and comes in. Way. Like this far out.
What's the story I've heard where? Was there a demo and Penny was skating and the electricity cut off at night, the lights cut off, and
at Tampa,
people stopped skating, and you could just still hear Penny's landing tricks in the dark. It's like
it's kind of like
It's an enigma, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Was there any other sessions?
He's got to be
you had with those
skateboarding's
guys where,
biggest enigma, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Was there any other mad sessions?
I remember when
with
we
Flip
did.
guys that were
Remember the
really
El
mind?
Camino rails? There were 2 rails. There was a small square one up the top, a big one down the bottom.
Yeah.
Muska and Jamie Thomas has some stuff for it, but it was kind of a tech rail up the top where you could it was like maybe 6-7 stairs. And me and Dave were shooting him. I was videoing, and he started going switch down the rail, switch front boards, and I'm like, fuck, this is not right.
Is this the one where he's wearing?
This is not right. He's all beige, right?
Yeah,
He's all got his checkered on it, and I'm like, that's not right. What's he doing? Like, is this wrong? What's she trying now? Like something, and I'm like, fucking hell, he's doing switch front boards, and I remember that thinking that was just fucking mind bonkers.
Didn't he switch tailslide that rail as well? I think. Can't remember. But yeah, unreal.
But he frontside flipped Carlsbad back, no Carlsbad gap. Frontside, I had to go back and frontside flipped it because he'd no filmer there with him.
Yeah, he just went and done it, didn't he?
Just went and done it, you know.
It must have been interesting to be out there and seeing like the popularity of Flip. Like they obviously did quite well out of it pretty quickly. It looked like from
I think that 1 year
they must have been selling a lot of boards.
Board outsold the Tony Hawk board, which says it all really. How big Penny was at the time, you know.
Because did they have a hard time at first in the States, Flip? Because Shipman said, was it Phelps wasn't necessarily too stoked on them because they were like English, they weren't American, and
no, well, not from us because we should have took them in, but they later on. I mean, Jeff was in Thrasher all the time, wasn't it? But maybe early on there was a weird. They didn't really talk to it. Well, they were friends with Templeton.
Yeah.
Ed was good friends with Jeff. Penny was really good friends with Muska. They actually lived together, didn't they, in apartments? So they were like really close.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall and hear that.
Yeah, they were like,
and hear that convo.
Yeah, they were both.
I've been skating with Penny, and I'm like, "You all right?" And he's like, "Yes, man."
Yeah.
Yo, and he's looking at you, but it's like you could move your head out your way, and he's still just like, "Yo." Like he sold his soul to someone to skate that good.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Lovely guy though. Shared donuts with him. I was like, fucking hell, I'm sharing donuts with Tom Penny.
Well, Penny's he's still doing it now, isn't it? It was a 360 flip on Instagram this morning, and he came down to it. He's like, he must have been doing that since he's like 8 or 9. He must have been starting at AF7 or 8 to be that good at 11. He didn't start at 11 and was that good. I think I saw him at 11, maybe 11, 12. And then in Harrow, in the little janky, the little bank park at the top, he was like, it was unbelievable.
What was that mini ramp he always skated? The Oxford Wheels Project one that he was amazing on as well.
Yeah.
Even Haslam quoted a trick out of the
roller skates video. What 540. He did the backside ollie, but then does the late shove it to backside lip side revert.
Yeah. Even Haslam was like, "What video is that?" And we were like, "It's right there."
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then the fact that he didn't really talk and he kept to himself, that's just added to the enigma, didn't it? And then he disappeared. That added to it.
Went to France, didn't he?
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Did he go to France because he was over America?
I think
he was a bit fed up of it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's easy getting a visa. You've got to be. It's not easy doing that.
It's quite funny. You mentioned the Cheech and Chong graphic. I was looking at the HLC catalogue the other day. Still doing that board.
Yeah.
And they still do it in a 775, which I'm assuming is probably Penny's size.
Yeah.
He's still skating a 775.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put into modern day terms how much Penny blew people's minds.
Yeah.
Not just us, but
what you watching here, right? None of this. This was a Penny. You can't say about everything. None of this looks forced.
No. He's just skated.
When's he thinking about doing that trick? Going up? And he was always like that. I mean, he's got so many tricks, hasn't he?
But just look at him when he like stepped on vert, not skating
He goes frontside flip 180 before coming in it.
And then everybody wanted to do Penny's tricks.
Yeah.
Like we were like, right, you got to learn kickflip fakies now at the top.
He backside flips here as well.
Yeah.
Did he come in?
That was in 4-1, wasn't it? When he backside flips into it.
Well, that's when they first saw him, didn't they? 4-1-1. Yeah.
It was. I mean, it still is. It's just madness.
I don't think a lot of like street skaters skate as much transitions as Penny would do with the indoor parts, all the mini ramp stuff. Or you skate what you have here, didn't you? Rowley too. Roon lived at Northampton, didn't he? Because he was there all the time skating vert.
Yeah.
You got to put a fucking lot of hours in to get that good.
Yeah.
A lot of hours.
The the photo that Horsley took of him doing the kickflip indie at Radlands.
Yeah.
That popped up again on somebody's post the other day. And there was a comment like, because it had the video. Oh, it was on the Cult of Tom, I think, and it had the video to go with it. And people were like, "Shit, I didn't even know he flipped into that." Because it just looks like a nosebone, indie nosebone.
Yeah.
But he's flip indie nosebone.
Yeah.
But he's a street skater.
Yeah.
But he's doing that, and
But he can skate through it as well. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually really good on
You can
it.
skate everything.
like
Without pads.
it's
Yeah,
fucked,
well,
isn't
pads
it?
to
But I
do,
guess
yeah.
if you're skating with people like Rune and Sean Goff, I guess in the early days, you're gonna skate everything, aren't you? Because if you're hanging around with a group of people that are older, they're probably, you know how skating is. They're probably like, I want to skate some ramps, and that's why you can do fucking everything.
Yeah.
Was there any other skateboarders that came along, especially through Flip, that like had that effect as well? Like when you'd be on a session with them, like Rowley, Boulala, because
Boulala and bits and bobs. That kickflip in, I saw that kickflip in Liverpool. He did onto the cabin, the porter cabin.
Oh, is that the one with Ches? He's there with the camera in the corner.
That was
Who's
pretty gnarly.
Boulala?
Yeah.
In his really sorry part.
Yeah.
He goes off the roof onto the green. Oh, I thought I didn't know.
But in that period when Sorry was going on, fucking Boulala was just on a rager. He was just fucking on a tear up. It was like, to be honest with you, looking back, it was fucking hard work. All those, lots of those tours were not,
There was a lot
you
of-
want easy. You want like, get in the van and fucking go kip anywhere. You want like it is now, where it was a little, at least you get a fucking motel or something. Before back then, it was all just
Sleep
go.
where you are.
Oh mate, it was all like, a lot of it was really
How long were those tours?
fucking hard grind. Not long, but some of it was like, lots of stuff I go on was like, it was a push, you know. Some of it was
Did you ever
easier.
like think I'm gonna get a hotel and just
No.
leave these guys alone?
But then, like all those Transworld videos, like all those things that you watch, and all those Sorry videos too, when they're doing the night sessions, that's a full night of skateboarding. It's not just for an hour. That's like a night shift. So they're getting up 12, skating, you know, for the afternoon, trying to get a trick, and then going in the evening. It's like, it's full on, go in, get going. It's week, you know, it's a week of fucking, it's a grind, no pun intended, but it is.
It showed though, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it showed.
Yeah.
It showed
The
the
content
quality
that
and
came
all
out
the
of that.
content of all these guys, when they put the generators in, when they started dodging everything and made it different, it just went up, you know, it just went up a notch.
Yeah, I mean that team at that point,
Oh, it was the ultimate, wasn't
Boulala,
it?
Arto, Jeff, Penny.
Penny, yeah.
It was.
And then Bastian came along, fucking, you know.
Yeah. 14
He
or
was another-
13
yeah,
years old,
14,
wasn't he, at
yeah.
the time?
Yeah.
I was on
crazy.
Bastian's first trip. That was a Sorry trip. That was the first trip with him. He's like, 13, 14, like tiny. Super good as well. Really, really good.
Did he speak much English to that point?
Yeah, you can speak English. Yeah. But he had like attitude, you know, he had loads of self-confidence. He was just, you know.
That kind of came across. You could
Yeah,
see
as
that.
a kid he had that though, wasn't you
Yeah.
know? But he was
fucking
amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
There's not a lot of full-length videos that I could really watch all the way through
Yeah.
now, but I can guarantee to still watch Flip, from start to finish, because that was one of the first videos I saw where it was like the whole video, each part was so differently unique. You know what I mean? It's like every song was solidly different. Everyone's styles were solidly different. And then it wasn't until I was in my late teens that I was like, oh, none of these are American.
Yeah.
They're all like British and European. I mean, my first video I saw was Search for Animal Chin, so
Yeah.
I got like that Toy Machine box set and the Element video. So they were like my first videos that I saw. And then a couple of years later, because it was still a little bit slow in skate shops then, getting new releases and stuff in. Like there was still a lot of
before the
old.
internet, yeah,
there was still
100%.
a lot of old shit there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I got that Flip Sorry video, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! And then all my attention went to Boulala.
Yeah.
It's funny how certain characters within skating kind of.
Resonate with certain
I
kids
bet,
that
like,
watch
when
it.
you were on trips with those guys or any of the big, like Muska, you know, like the ones who were got that stereotypical look, you know, like Muska with his.
But then it
trousers.
went with Boulala and those guys, didn't it? They went like fucking full guitar. They all like Stevie Ray Vaughan, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I remember going to the flat, it was fucking guitars everywhere. I'm like, oh fucking hell, here we go, innit? It's gonna be.
Was that when they were like getting really into like Johnny Thunders and the
Yeah,
Heartbreakers
yeah,
and the
yeah.
punk side
There
was
was guitars on the trips and everyone shitty guitar playing. And like fucking hell.
because Boulala went from like baggy to skinny overnight, didn't he? Like everything he was wearing, and like his hair greased up, and
he was basically
Sid
like
Vicious. He looked Sid Vicious.
A mini Penny for a bit, like when he used to turn up at St Albans. He was like a Swedish kid who's on
with long hair and
Flip at that time.
Yeah, he was when he first went to America. He was like that, wasn't he? Yeah.
Did you see with those strong, really like memorable characters within skating, like Boulala and Muska? Did you ever do any like tours where there was demos and there was kids who were dressing just like them?
Because I know a lot of the kids were doing the Salabanzi with the t-shirt wrapped round the head.
Because there must have been some real die-hard fans back in the day that just wanted to...
Yeah, when we did that Circa tour that we did, 2000, video radio.
Fucking good video, that.
Yeah, real good video.
Mental. That was full, like, Beatles-y, Hard Day's Night, like, fucking not much control at the demos, no security, everyone getting swamped. That was, like, kind of scary. But, yeah, I mean, you do, don't you? You dress, dress how you want to skate, look the part, be the part.
Hold on a second, we need to talk about sponsoring this episode of the Brain Train Show. Toby, take it away.
Today's sponsor is Slappy Trucks.
Slappy Trucks comes from the mind of Mike Sinclair and was created through the lockdown. He was messing around with his trucks and he thought, hold on, I might just have a way to make them a little bit better.
Slappy Trucks provide the best grind clearance and slappy angle to keep your kingpins from the dreaded snag on Smiths, Feebles, Hurricanes, Bennett and Barley grinds, and has been measured by Professor Paul Schmidt. Slappy Trucks have the quickest turn, the best grind clearance, less wheel bite, no braking time, and are 100% more fun. I'm currently riding the inverted Kingpin Hollow ones, and they're very nice, and I'm getting on great with them. They are sick.
Slappy Trucks also have an incredibly large team, and some of our favourites are Mike Fraser, Leonardo Fincus, Abe Bethel, the Cab Killer Ira, and Arissa True.
They're also sorting out Will Sayer, Ben Plum, Liddy Strachan, Twiggy, and Manny Haddon in the UK. Where can people find out about Slappy Trucks, Forde?
They can find them at Slappy Trucks on Instagram or www.slappytrucks.com. Or simply head to Roller Snakes and just search Slappy Trucks and see how many we have in stock. Toby?
Back to the show.
Back to the show
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
Back to the show. When you did a trip like that, like the Circa tour, were you the main photographer and there was no one else? So it was...
Yeah, me, the main photographer. Who else was on that?
So
Ryan G was on it, and then Greg Hunt and John Holland. And John Holland was like the guy that kind of like looked over all the... He stayed through all the Transworld videos, so Holland was the one that did pretty much all the editing, so the look of all the Transworld videos that mainstayed was Holland.
Some of those Transworld videos were just insane. I used to love it.
Yeah.
There were, feedback.
Just about to say, feedback's one of my favourite
Sight
ones.
unseen. I mean, I could still put sight unseen on now and just be just right back in there. Like
those parts were a year's work.
Yeah.
And you could see now, but and it was good if someone was in between a video, that was always good.
But so it worked alongside the mag, didn't it?
Yeah,
because there was so much content from the riders that was during that process of filming. It was good. They would get. Not only did they have good video parts that stood test, but they had good editorial too. So if you you'd always have Transworld stuff with you all that period. So you get good coverage. Yeah. How was it like with? The cost of you going out shooting for the mag, were the other sponsors helping the travel and that kind of thing?
The deal was like we'd pay for our bit, and then if whatever sponsored went, they would go. But a lot of those, there might be maybe one or two trips sometimes in the Transworld videos, but most of those they would like go and stay with Cardiel. Cardiel would come down. I mean, Heath's part was all shot in LA and around at night, so they would all be done lots of it was just like night missions. LA's only 2 hours away from San Diego, it's not far, so it would all be done. It was all pretty close.
That Heath part in
mental. In the cop car,
it's just unreal. I think there's only 2 daylight clips in there, isn't there?
Yeah, all night. And not getting busted because he's in the cop car.
Was he?
Well, he's in the cop. Bought a cop car, didn't he? Like an old Ford.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in his police car driving. When he's going turning it up, he's in a police car, a used police car.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
It's got the lights on the top.
No, not lights or badges or anything, but it looks like the shape of it is full cop. Yeah, and when you see him in black, when you don't really mess with them. Jason Jesse had one too. Fuck. So they have it's just. yeah, you kind of get away with a bit more when you're in. You don't get stopped, you know.
I seen a guy in a cop car that wasn't a police officer when I was last in the States, and my mate that I was with, he said, you can buy them and own them. All you have to do is take whatever county badge off it and take the lights off the roof.
That's pretty funny. I didn't know that. But then it kind of fits in with the whole mystique around Heathcote.
And then skaters have always had like bikes, cars, haven't they? They've always had, used to be the Civic, didn't it?
The Honda Civic.
If you had
back
a Civic, you were
Kane
like,
Gale
you were
in his
just,
Civic.
you were coined in it.
Yeah,
You were like, that was, if you had a Civic, shit out Civic was got
So
rims.
Muska definitely had a...
No, you went straight, Muscalade, Muska did.
Muscalades, that's it, yeah.
The Lincoln.
Through that time, what was the biggest tour or the biggest video that you was involved with? Like, what was the most, like, what was the highest point, like the most manic point of like, this is insane? Like noticing
I was on a
that
BAM tour once, like a Northwest Element tour, 2001, 2002. BAM was like right at his height.
BAM's at the peak.
Yeah,
that's when I was just getting into it.
And he talked about like people turning up. They were like, it was all kids dressed up in like
heartograms
and
wanting to get slapped in the face.
Yeah, just all that. So Jackass was like at his height, wasn't it? There was all that MTV stuff going on.
Yeah. And did so you were on those tours. Was there ever self-acknowledgement from BAM where he was like, shit, like this is getting... Because apparently at the start he was he was meant to be quite a quiet lad.
He was definitely quiet when I met him, but then he was pretty famous at this point. But by the time 2002 maybe 2003, that, and it was like a Zoomies tour, so it was like a mall tour, and it was like just hundreds and hundreds, trying to get his autograph.
We were meant to have BAM on the show. He'd confirmed. And then just some shit went down in Glasgow, and
he was supposed to come to Swansea, but that didn't happen.
And he fled.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Element tours were the
Element
biggest,
tours
wildest.
Big. The Circa one was massive that we went on.
That video really shows that the madness of that tour. That's a really good, one of the few good tour videos.
Yeah,
it really shows.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, for two weeks. Some of the Adidas tours that I went on were really good, really big. That was a fun.
I want to talk about Muska a bit more before we move on, just because it's Muska. When did you first meet Chad? How
Musk?
Give us a little bit of a behind the scenes.
Skating a rail down in San Diego. Would have been '94.
And how did the Americans?
I'd seen Muska before because Thomas Campbell had shot him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd been on his trip with Toby, and it was in Transworld. Muska was like, he was wearing cargo pants, shell toes, the vest, the radar
was it big TSA vest?
No, before that.
Before that?
This was before he was kind of on anyone.
Because he was living rough for a while, wasn't he, down on Venice Beach?
In San Diego.
San Diego.
Pacific Beach. And then that time, like, Kalis was down there, Lenny Kirk, all that kind of crew.
Lenny Kirk is amazing.
Well, they were all sleeping rough, weren't they, on the beach?
Yeah, or they had like, one person had like fucking room in not a DOS house, but like, you can just get rooms in all sorts of places in Southern California. Everyone would just fucking jump in on the room. But the weather's so nice, you can just, a couple of 40s, just get a blanket, and people would just crash in the park, sleep, and don't know, they definitely had no income. There's no dole there, no social support. But that's how you went to California. You didn't go to California to, you didn't like hitchhike to California to stay posh. You went to rough it, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's why you went into the benefits was skateboarding every day. But he was on Maple, wasn't he?
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Before Toy Machine.
Yeah, he was on Maple.
So he wasn't on Toy Machine for long, was he?
No, his part was in the Welcome to Hell video
at the premiere,
and it got taken out, I think.
Yeah, and he walked out of that one. I was at that premiere, something happened.
Was it because
I don't know.
He didn't have last part, or he was meant to have last part, and there was an argument the night of the prem or something?
Don't even know.
We need to get him on then.
So much stuff going on at that. He remembers everything. He's really good.
I've met Muska as well.
He had to change the cover, didn't he? He's doing the 50-50 at the top. That rail's in San Diego. The bottom rail of San Diego is there in that. That's the first stairs, and then the San Diego, the main rail's at the bottom.
Yeah.
No one ever skated that top rail except Muska. No one ever did that.
I was in Manchester and turned a corner and there was Muska and Penny and like Lizard King and obviously Ben Grove. and Grove was just like, do you want to come skate? And I had to like keep my cool. And I was just like, yeah, man. And like, where do I sit? And there's a table with like Muska, Penny and Lizard King. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to go gate crash the table. I've been with them all day at that point and they're all just really nice as well. And I was just sat at a table with them and I was like, talking, eating my dinner. And then I had that like, a few times that click in my head where I was like, look who you're at the table at. Like, and then, yeah, Penny ate his food, got up, went round to his missus, picked up her chips like a little secret, sneaky ghost, and just walked off. And it was like, I swear to God, it was like no one else saw it. Yeah. Like, but they did see it, but they know what Penny's like. And it was my first time seeing it. And I was like,
we used to have a ramp in Swansea called Morpher, which I built 88, 89.
The big red one?
The big red one. And everyone had to like, if you wanted to come down, you got to go through me to get permission for it. So Powell came down in 89, 88, 89. And it was Steve Cabb, Tom Guerrero, McGill, a few others on it. So the old demo finished. It was like, you know, back in those days too, those Powell demos were fucking mental too. I mean, those were the biggest demos I'd been to.
You've been to one, haven't you?
Yeah, huge. And they were like, oh, do you want to go for food? Okay, yeah. So we go to this like burger place, but it's an Hawaiian burger place. And I distinctly remember, like you said, sitting down as like Cab there, Gil here, sitting by Tommy Guerrero going, I'm in Animal Chin. I'm definitely in Animal Chin.
Yeah. You know,
I gotta be honest, I'm like, the 80s guys, I am come like, if I see U.S.A or I saw Lance Mountain or Tony, I'd be like, Tony Alva.
Yeah, everyone has
Could never talk to Jay Adams. Saw him a few times, but I could never go.
That must have been intimidating to see him and try and spark conversation.
Yeah,
like Jay Adams.
But then there's the rule in Hollywood where you don't actually go and talk to anyone. You have to let that be more of, that's kind of how I sort of perceived it anyway. You have to make it be like a natural thing. You can't go fucking up to Bob Dylan and go, hey, I like your music.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, you just got to be,
it's got to be present.
Work or something. It's not, I don't know, it's got to be like more of a normal thing.
That's like Mike, when you met Mike downstairs, he went, I'm a big fan of your work, Sir Skin. It's like kind of an awkward one, isn't it? But it's funny.
But it's nice, though, but it's good, but it's like, it's, I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah. Especially
from you. And I've done it a couple of times. I've talked to people that have been like, oh my God, I am going to say hello. And that's been good, because I thought in the back of my head, I knew it was going to be all right. I wouldn't go, you know, sometimes it didn't work out, but yeah.
You pick your battles with who you're going to compete.
You try to, don't you? You just sometimes you just know people are twats. You don't bother. But I will say this for all skateboards, like if you go to the skateboard, can I get your autograph? They're not going to say, fuck off. They're going to give you the autograph. I don't think there's that pretentious stuff there that there might be with other sports. Then I don't think there's many that, maybe there are, but I don't think there's many that think they're high and mighty, especially the kids. Like on that circuit tour, Muska, Jamie would sign 1,500 kids.
Yeah.
They would stay there all day
because they've all came from
every
nothing.
Kid had a signature.
Because they've all came from nothing and started from the bottom.
But they'd be there for hours signing until they were all
I guess that's also, that shows how professional they are, because they know that being
how much it means to people as well.
But being a professional skateboarder is more than just the skateboarding.
For sure.
It's the whole how you carry yourself, how you are around people, not being a dick in front of kids who will then go back to their local shop and won't buy your board. And you know, there's very few people in this country that carry themselves like that. I'm not going to.
Because where every demo, there's a kid that turns up, starts blasting on it, then it's always like the same. No one ever tells. Yeah. They just crack on and get going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like meeting? You said you met Jay Adams a couple of times.
Didn't meet Jay Adams. Never talked to him.
Did you not?
No, too scared.
But you was
get a photo.
You was in the same areas as him. But
there's a photo Jim Goodrich got of him and Jay Adams and some gnarly like full Dogtown dude.
And you're in the background with your long lens, like
with the bar in the background having a drink.
Fucking hell, yeah.
He's with Jim Muir. Jay Adams
of suicidal tendencies.
Not yet, the skate Jim Muir. I think Jim Muir. And then, but I wouldn't if I saw like fucking. I wouldn't even go. There's no way I couldn't. But then later on, I spent the day with Jay Adams in right around Venice and round. He went around all the spots with me. I had a day with him. That was brilliant. So later on, I got to hang out, but it wasn't like. But I became really good friends with Lance Mountain. We toured quite a lot together. That was good. Cab, I got good friends with, but Lance, I was really really good mates with Lance. We did a lot of good stuff together.
I feel like Lance Mountain's a guy you could definitely go up to and be like, I really love your skating.
Oh, but I got this theory, right? I can tell you that this is my thing. I think that in the 50s, it was Elvis, right? And then all these like one person things. And then it was the Beatles. I think that the Powell Peralta were like the Beatles. They were not crafted like the Beatles, but they were sort of the first team where you were like, fuck no, this is the team.
Yeah, the superstar team.
The superstar team. Do you have a team like that now? There's not one team where we go, which is the best skateboard team? I don't even know. You can't, it's so fucking so many now as well, isn't it? But the way they were portrayed and marketed, I mean, they were the best. I won't say the best, but But then at the time, like there's people like Jeff Phillips and Blender and all these other people that really didn't get marketed like they did because they were in a video. It's like unbelievable when you watch Blender, all the stuff he did. It's just bonkers.
Did you ever shoot anything?
I was just about to say,
no, never. I couldn't even talk to him. I was just about to say
it's going to be a podcast of us just going, have you met? Because
it's fucking interesting stuff. We've got the guy here who was first hand there.
I met Grosso. I was really good friends with Lucero. Me and Lucero got on really good.
Yeah, he seems amazing, Lucero.
He seems like
went
it's
to
good fun,
Lucero Stag Do. Went on that with all the boys. That was
nice.
Interesting.
So you never met or skated or shot Blender?
No.
Oh man, that's a top tier as well.
No. Terrible.
Because me and Toby, although we are separate people, when it comes to Blender, we are conjoined as one for the last love of Blender.
It is the last ad I did in the States before I left. I shot Steve Caballero in a park, and he's like, "Oh, can we use this for Power Ad?" And the graphics of the graphics Blender did the graphics for the bearings. So the last ad I ever over there was a collab with New Blender.
Nice.
And he did play my 50th birthday. He was in a band with Lance, and they came and played the birthday. So, but it was like some people I couldn't. What would you say to New Blender? Hiya.
Hey mate, love to skate.
Yeah.
How you doing?
But you can tell that people aren't like. It's got to be
People, if they don't know who Neil Blender is, need to just go and watch his GNS footage.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going to put it out there.
That's fucking brilliant.
Anyone that's listening right now that doesn't know who Neil Blender is, fuck off. Don't watch the podcast. Block us all. So through the time that you were living in the States, did you come back to England often and shoot anything, or was it just visiting and for like vacations?
Yeah. So if I came back, I'd go to Europe, 2 weeks at home maybe to see mum and dad, and then there wasn't much. No, I didn't shoot much at all. I might go out. I didn't really. Oh. So what happened? I lost my. I couldn't get a visa renewed in '98, and I kind of stayed illegally. So I had to leave through Mexico to not get a stamp to go to Mexico City out of Tijuana to come back to show that I'd. Okay, so back then, you could go over the border, walk over, say I'd been on holiday for a week or something, and they go stamp it, and you get another 3 months. Did that maybe like 4 times and it started getting sketchy, and they were like, you've overstayed it, you need to leave. Left through Tijuana into Mexico City, flew back to London, but I stayed here for 2 years. Then I lived in London, lived in Swansea, and I traveled, but I spent loads of time shooting in London. And then that '98 was the time that Gonz came back to do the art show thing in Germany. So I shot that, did a winter in Australia. I did loads and loads of traveling within that 2 year period. It was kind of rough not being in America for doing all that stuff.
And then you got a full granted visa to...
Yeah, I got a new visa. That all went back.
Was that a work visa or a residency visa at that time?
It was a managerial visa into a green card, did the green card, and then I became a resident, became a citizen, like maybe 8 years ago. But I'm being back. But I can't. I'm both. I'm American citizen, British citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that Gonz art installation thing, where he. What was the whole idea with that? 'Cause it's quite famous, isn't it?
Yeah.
The stuff you shot there.
I think Mark had just got Adidas that summer.
Yeah.
I got lucky because I knew someone at Adidas, and she'd say, "Oh, do you want to come along to this show?" I didn't even know what Mark was doing. That was on maybe like a Thursday, but he was doing a thing called Broken Poems, this little book. He was doing talks in the evening. He did this skate Saturday, then he skated Sunday, then he skated Cologne out in front of the church on but it was like, what do you want to do? I want to dress in a fencing outfit and go skate in a museum. Okay. Which was cool of, usually in that, and nobody could do that except Mark.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mark, if there's anyone who couldn't say that and you don't even really kind of like raise your eyebrows here, isn't it?
But it was all the stuff I'd all Mark stuff as some sort of, he does lots. This like fencing suit. I don't know what's going on there, but it was just actually more to it, and it's a fencing shoe, fencing suit. Yeah, and Mark, you did this other one with Greg Hunt with the cross with the bow and arrow through San Francisco, just amazing. Really, just don't even know
it's
how to explain
iconic, isn't it? Really,
yeah, it is. But then I was gutted because when I shot it, I was trying to get the cover. And I said, if I get the skate photo, I could get a cover. That was always I think that was everyone's staff, photographers' kind of idea when it went out. If I shoot this, maybe I can get a cover. But I spent so much trying to get a skate photo, but it wasn't about the skate photo at all. It's more about the ironically, one of the photos that everyone loves is him
through the tunnel.
on his tummy going through it. It's not even right, he's just sort of surfing through it. But they did that again like 5 years ago when they were to shoot that. Mark, that was cool. He did that one in New York, so that was nice.
Yeah, certainly an unusual situation. That
yeah.
Wasn't it?
But then Mark was like Penny too. He didn't I don't think Mark pre-planned anything.
Just turned up.
Just
and
turned up wherever you turn up and just go. And he's still doing it, isn't he?
He's still doing it to this day.
Like, so good to watch.
When did you first meet the Gonz? And you shot quite a lot of him.
Munster, yeah, not a lot, not as much as I think people think. But I shot him in Munster a little bit. I saw him in '89 in Visalia. He came out of foot with Thrasher when he came in. He was doing like foot plants the other way around, like a fast plant, but like an indie grab. So he's like kind of like a sound wrap.
A little bit, yeah.
Is it sound wrap? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just stuff that you've never seen, just fucking Mark so good. There's a photo in that book, isn't it, of the boneless one at Lama Road. Fucking hell. His back foot is like 6 foot off the ground. It's like fucking just mental.
Yeah.
It's the Gonz, isn't it?
Yeah. But people don't do that anymore, do they? Like Jeff Phillips. Poof. People just boneless now. Like when Cam boneless is, it's just.
I see a lot of people doing it now when they grab between their legs.
Yeah.
And that just don't look right. It doesn't look right.
No.
It's got to be, like you say, it's got to be like thrown into the air, isn't it? Like.
When you see all Mark's inverts, the way he tweets everything as well, it was just like, it's just so good. It's just like a different. It's just different.
What's the photo that you're most well known for? I mean, obviously that Gonz stuff is
is the Kalis Bridge cover.
Right.
That's the one that gets kind of most requests.
Yeah. Kalis seems like a nice dude.
Yeah, Josh is really good. Really cool.
You can sort of tell that. He comes across.
Then I met him really early on.
That
when
one,
he came
right?
down.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
I met him when he came down. Josh when he was on Tom Machine first when he was like under Jimmy Thomas's wing, but then did it was picking anything up with an alien workshop.
Yeah.
Drake was there. Myself, Lenny, and Kalis got on workshop with two of those guys in Pacific Beach at the time.
Yeah.
That Pacific Beach scene was so good. Like Duffy was there, Muska was there. Oh my God! There was every weekend was Kelly Bird lived there.
Yeah.
What was the shop there? Is
Pacific Drive. They had a really good scene. They had a really good snowboards, you know. So they just meet Pacific Drive every day.
How well did you know Lenny Kirks? I know he kind of slipped off a little bit with all the
not very well
obsessive religious stuff, which is quite
went,
sad.
Yeah.
Because that part is it time code? That part.
Fucking raw, wasn't he?
Lenny Kirk? Really raw.
He's got the last part in an Alien video to like a gospel song.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like his switch skating, first person
really. Did he switch 50 Hubber as well?
Yeah.
Hubber Hideout?
Yeah.
It's in the time code or
it might be in that one,
memory screen part, one of those.
Just before we move on, can we just talk about, you mentioned shooting with the Girl and Chocolate guys back in the day. Obviously around that time they were like worldwide the shit.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, you know, all about that. So you must have seen some pretty heavy stuff go down with those guys. I know you mentioned earlier about people would shoot stuff and on video and then you'd have to go back and do sequences and things like that. Was it taking a lot of time to get those tricks done on? Because you were shooting film then?
Yeah, film.
And
if they was called back up to do it, they would do it.
I was just about to say, how hard is it to shoot film sequence?
Well, it just takes a lot of film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were pretty on
They
it.
were probably like, you do, so you've got 36 shots on a roll.
Yeah.
It probably takes 10, 12 in a sequence. You'd stop in a bail to go to like 6 or 7. In fact, sometimes 6.5 frames a second. So it'd be like, to there you could stop and like, but if you could see it was going to be a bail and you could piece it together sometimes, but that wasn't always the best way because someone could move. The worst thing was, see you have 3 tries in a row. Put the film away. They look at the film. They like, fuck, I've just done a roll. Do another roll. Fuck, done another roll. Do another roll. Fuck, now done another roll. And so the roll, I always used to hide the rolls, so no one never put the roll down for them to look at. Hide the rolls. You'd be, but like when they would get, and they're like, how many rolls have I done? How many have I got left? It was real, like, it was pressure for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to say to me you got 1 roll left.
No.
Were there any times around then the sequences never got shot, but it was made on video? Anyone can remember?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I remember being around Kingy and Percy Dean, and you know when everything was changing over to digital, and they were still shooting the occasional sequence.
If I could get a photo that in a still, I'd never shoot a sequence of it.
Yeah.
Shooting sequences were not fun.
No.
No, not fun. If you shot a still, you get it back next day. There's a still. You know, you got something there to go. You back yourself up, right? You do like a fisheye, you do a long lens, you do this, you do something without flash. You knew you'd have the shot in the bag. Maybe shoot a black and white roll. Back then, you'd like, a brick was 12 in the fridge. You just go in and get like 3 or 4 bricks, take them out, and it didn't really matter. You know, no one really cared. I think it's more when you had to buy your film yourself. It was tougher. People really didn't shoot sequences if you had to buy it yourself. You couldn't afford it. You couldn't cover the cost. So it was all way.
How did you feel, and how was the transition from film to digital?
I didn't do it very well at all. I couldn't look at the screen all the time on Photoshop.
Yeah.
I can't. I couldn't do it.
I remember when like Sam Ashley got his first DigiSLR, like a Nikon thing, and I mean it doesn't really matter now, but Document helped him buy it. I think there was something because they were fucking expensive, weren't they, when they first came out? And just remember like him just like shooting sequences off with it, and it was like, I don't know, it's like a whole other world, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember there was when the digi sequences started cropping up in the mags, and because you can tell, can't you? You could look at it at that stage and you knew it's a bit different now, but
and there was more frames in the camera.
Yeah.
It saved money. It took the pressure off a bit. But then you got to like color correct everyone. Put it fucking, oh my god, that stuff used to drive me fucking crazy. Like, you know.
So you didn't like the post production side
I
of
just
it?
I just didn't like the amount of photos you'd shoot on a trip too. It'd be you know.
Yeah, those memory cards, they were getting filled up pretty quick.
Hundreds of photos, and then like, you'd have to lock the sequences. I just don't like digital photography. I like manual photography, you know.
You're coming
but
from
I had
that.
no choice. But then when it came up, when it actually went like all digital, I kind of went from a photographer to an editor-in-chief. So I became more like a boss than I was actually a photographer. I was happier when I was a photographer because I was just doing, all I did was editorial. When I was the boss, all I did was manage editorial.
Yeah.
It's fucking not fun.
Yeah.
Especially when the media's taking a tank, the whole, the iPhone's around the corner, the whole world's about to melt, and you don't even, you didn't even see what's coming. Everyone was talking about the World Wide Web and this, but nobody at that time, when we were like run by New York, nobody was talking about the phone. No one was saying it's all going to be on the phone. It's all going to be in the computer. It's all going to go digital. But no one was saying about how our social media was going to be, or how, no one knew that it would all, I think Facebook and thing, like 80% of the world advertising.
Yeah.
It's mental. It's 80% of the world's advertising is online. It's mad.
And I guess coming from the magazine, how much per issue revenue was coming in from ads? I mean, it was
the one I claim to fame, had a Dustin Dolan photo, kickflip in Australia over a fence. It's the biggest issue in skateboarding history, I think.
Right.
400 pages.
Yeah.
It was, Transworld used to be like Vogue.
Yeah.
It used to be massive. But I guarantee you now, you pick it up now and you went back, not many of those companies still exist.
No.
Lots of it was just riding a big wave. If you were like a hard goods company, you get this deal. If you're a shoe company, you get this, you'd pay a bit more. And then when it was general ads, they would pay like triple of what anyone else was doing. So, it would make...
Because I always remember there'd be ads, so you'd always look out in there and be like, what the fuck's it? That's the photo we're talking there about the guns. Mm-hmm. Like...
Money, it made a fortune. It made so much. It was like, what they would price that. I mean, I would have thought that as a group, when they sold a couple of 100 million, 200 million, but then what the mistake they made, instead of like keeping it mom and pop and growing it, it sold it like a mortgage, or they're just trying to upsell it. Oh, these will buy it. I'll sell it again for another 15%. I'll sell it again for another 15%. Another 15%. What's it worth now? Nothing. So all it is now is just fucking history at this point, isn't it? It's not an ongoing concern in any kind of way, which is a shame, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, it is a shame, but that was pivotal of that time.
For sure. But then for the longest time, it was, when I first went there, it was mom and pop.
Yeah.
Larry Barman had owned it originally, he started it. And then Peggy Cousins ran it, and Peggy was like, there was like a 14 certificate on it. There was no drink involved in it. You couldn't swear in it, and you couldn't smoke in it. Those were the rules, and it was censored, kind of for a reason. Especially not what we saw, but what happened. It's not like, I don't know. It's a debate, isn't it? It's all like, is it like that? I don't know. I get it. I see why it's marketable, and I understand it. But it wasn't, the girl guys kind of weren't like that. It was more, there's a bit more sophistication to it, I think. Well, I hope.
I was always, with the mags, we didn't get many American mags, but Transworld was the one that we kind of got the most of.
Yeah.
So, I saw Thrasher every now and then, but that was the one that...
But then in the early days when it was like Last Mountain Blend, there was editorial, Grant, Sturt. For a while there, it was untouchable for a long while because the photos were just so good.
Sturt's a funny character, isn't he? Like, I wish I knew more about him. He's like notorious with
wacky,
like Heath and Rowley shooting those random things, and you hear these stories and like.
Well, he shot Hensley first.
Yeah. He
was the first one he had.
Did he shoot the picture of Hensley doing the backside lip slide over the edge of the freeway? And
he shot. See, I wouldn't do that. I would never go like, hey, Go and jump those water towers. Be a great photo. I just couldn't believe that. My conscience Sturt to give it. He used to have, right? He's not you anymore, he's not going to shoot me, is he? He used to be so paranoid, right, of getting caught. He'd have a van, a little truck, only one seat. No one can ever ride with him. You turn up, you shoot a photo, and he'd just disappear. He'd just go.
I like skateboarding's fucking rad, and I love these characters within it, and he's one of them.
He's absolutely one of them for sure.
Like, you know, like Kate's mentioned about when he was staying with Woodstock, and he answered the door to him one day, and he was like, "Who are you?" to Kate's, and he was like, "Are you a pro skater?" And he's like, "No," and he's like, "Move out of the way, let me in."
Yeah.
Like, just rude, but knows what he wants and doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks. But he shot with the right people, didn't he?
I'd only just clocked on to you talked to when you mentioned the Hensley photo.
Yeah.
Long shot photo, quite far away.
Nice.
Yeah, I
and the bridge photo is the famous one, the one in San Diego, the one under the bridge in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up somehow not too long ago on a rabbit hole of that guy. So I seen someone put like, "Where is he? What's he doing?
Where is he?
Who is he?
He lives in Carlsbad still.
What's he doing?
He runs with his dog, and he's like.
Is he still?
Oh, he's fucking nutty as a fruitcake, mate. He's
is
like,
he still
if you
shooting?
If you saw him, you'd fucking walk the other way. You'd go around the corner. You'd be like that. You'd be like that. Oh no, here he comes. Like he's like.
I've never seen a photo of him.
But he's really. Oh, it's a photo of him. And we did like a portfolio where there's a photo when he cut his finger off. Have you seen that photo?
No.
He's got his fingers on a plate.
How do I find this image?
It'd be in the mag.
Dan
So I worked with him
Sturt.
for a while, and he kind of called me out of line. And I was just
Harold
over him.
Sturt.
But he'd be like.
Sturt.
It's the something we did, right? He runs. He used to be really good friends with. He's still good friends with like Marlon and all that. Like he talks like nonsense.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah, look down there. Look, that photo there.
Oh no, I do remember that.
Yeah.
The one, that one left.
So he's like 6'2". He's really intimidating and jockey. Right? He's really like if you're with him, you're like this fucking guy. Like he got the like. Look at him. He looks psycho, doesn't he? But he's intimidating in like real life, right?
It's like American Psycho.
Yeah, like full, full Phil Collins, and he poached all. He'd like, he'd do like his Hensley. He was really good friends with Matt, but he used to run this lagoon all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And he'd wear like really tight like shorts just to be intimidated. So it's fucking all this fucking stuff you don't really know. So one day I'm in a supermarket, queuing to get on, and I find waiting to go in the supermarket, and someone's shoving me from behind with a fucking shopping basket. I'm like, what the fuck? But I couldn't fight in America, right? It's on a video, nothing. I couldn't do anything. It's Sturt in his running gear. He picks me up in the supermarket and starts jumping with me in the supermarket, going, "Look at me, we're gay, we're a gay couple." I'm like. Like just to cause a stir. His whole thing was he'd do something or say something to you just to be like,
what?
What did he say?
Cause a scene.
What did he say? What did he do? Like what? Always like weird to just try and push a button some way. It'd always be a button, but then he'd burn so many it was such hard work to deal with. So hard. But he did for a while. He shot Rowley. He always picked the best guys. We shooting Jamie for a while. Shot Rowley. He was at the forefront. Good skateboarder too. His work his work was so good, but a fucking nightmare.
Like who is he? Where did he come from? Like what?
I think he came from somewhere out east. Yeah.
So he's definitely a mysterious character as well. When you research him, no one seems to know too much about him.
But that's kind of what he wants, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
He had stitches. He did stitches, right? He did medical thing. Wouldn't let him near me. But he was like, kind of like into guns, military stuff, and a bit.
Yeah.
He's definitely a bit iffy.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like,
but it is. But those are the characters that you want. And
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that.
And he poached the fucking famously, didn't he? So
The
Danny Way thing.
yeah.
So I planned to, because I was working for DC at the time, doing a lot of stuff with Ballard. So when we did the
Jumping out of a helicopter.
jumping out of the helicopter, Sturt had clocked on to this thing, right?
How did he clock onto it?
I'll tell you. So I'm like, the build was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday they went up, jump ramp one, the top wasn't right, it had another like 6 foot put onto it, so Danny could go higher on the first wall. I took another like half day building, wasn't ready till Saturday afternoon. Then he like broke all the records on Saturday afternoon. He came down on Sunday, and that's where the helicopter jump was on Sunday. The reason for the helicopter was because DC was right by an airport.
Right.
So that they did commercial helicopter jets. So they came down for shits and giggles in a helicopter. It wasn't pre-planned. They just came down in a helicopter.
As you do.
And then as you do. Yeah. And then he jumped down at the end. And then I go into Hensley's. Like, I should go at breakfast with him, see him in the morning. Matt only lived like a mile from me, so I used to see him all the time. I go, and Matt, I didn't even tell Matt. I might have told Matt. And then I go into his house on Monday morning. He goes, I go, fuck, you won't believe where we've been this weekend. He's like, go and have a look at the fridge. On the fridge, there's the helicopter drop, long lens. He's already gone to the dark room, printed, gone to Matt, showed that, knowing full well that I'd probably see it, gone around Matt, and there's a photo and thing.
So he's done that.
So I knew about it. I knew about it straight away, the Monday after the Sunday. Month goes by, magazine, Thrasher comes out. 3 weeks later, so it's fucking uproars in work, like, oh, fucking hell, blah, 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 blah. I'm just pissing myself, like, oh, no, here we go. But it was like, it was quite the hoo-ha.
It's funny though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
really funny.
Here,
Yeah,
like,
it's funny. It's funny.
Can you imagine?
And he dressed up as, I think he dressed up as like maintenance.
Yeah.
So he probably went around there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he should dress. When he used to go and do, like when he did that bridge shot, he put high vis on, helmet. When you do that, you don't get, no one gives you a second look. But I always imagine it was like the, what's the movie? Got Chevy Chase in it when he's dressed up as the pilot. You know, he's got the false teeth. Like always sort of see him like. Because he was clicking and they could hear it, but he didn't know. But he was way away.
So
taking the photos.
So he'd gone there and hid.
Called up to all the airports because he skydived, didn't he? Remember he skydiver and did that for a while. He was taking photos of like really gnarly base jumps. That was his thing. Or anything involving death. And that's how we knew. He called up all the airports around. Oh, what's going on down there? And then one guy goes, oh yeah, there's like a ramp thing going down here. That airport was like 20 minutes east of San Diego. It's like in the desert. So yeah, he came down and barged it, as they say.
I bet he fucking loved it as well.
Oh,
sitting
I
out
loved
in the distance, long
loved
it.
Probably there all night as well. Like
when he got that shot.
Dave and Grant, him and Dave and Grant, when I was there, they just didn't like each other. They fell out, they argued, they called it. It just, you would not, when someone's a nightmare, you just don't want to deal with them, no matter how good they are. You're like, oh, fucking, like you, mate. I can't do it anymore. I love you, photo. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. But like just dealing with you is giving me, especially when you're moving to the editorial role, you're like, they're not the photographers, artists, not the easiest to get along with. And they just, one day they were like, fucking, that's it. And they had nothing more to do with him. And it wasn't until I went in there late at the end that he came back in. But oh my God, everyone's good. Everyone had dealt with him. Fucking, what do you call that? Stories about him. Mark Waters, remember Mark Waters? Mark thought she passed away. He had a good story about him. Every time he'd take a shit, right? We lived with him, right? There would be no toilet paper gone, right? And he'd be like, didn't even like think about it, right?
He threw it.
Yeah. Nobody'd take a shit. You wipe it in a t-shirt, right? Or cut a t-shirt up, and then he'd chuck it outside the window on top of the roof. And on top of the roof then was just covered in used t-shirts full of shit.
But why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
I've read that.
It's fucking mental, isn't it? Like, oh, hang on, I'm not going to use toilet paper. I'm going to shit in a t-shirt, chuck it on the roof, see what happens. Why?
There's a catchphrase, isn't it? That's a catchphrase for the trailer.
But there's got to be, if you look into that behaviour.
Yeah. No one knew where he lived. The only reason I know where he lived is one of the editors in the staff on another magazine was his next door neighbour. And then
imagine him having him as
listen,
your neighbour.
this is good too. on your curb of every house in America, your number's on your curb, not on your door.
Right.
He painted that out. Painted his fucking number out. Took his bins to the trash. No one looked through the bins. You know, like awful, like fuck, you name it.
It's almost like
it's before, innit? What do they call it? Flat earthing. You know when you take your trash so the government can't look at it. When you take your shit to the fuck, you're not looking at this now. I'm taking this to the fucking dump.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you could
so paranoid about like looking at people looking at your shit. You take your own trash to the dump.
But I bet if he was to be looked at and like examined by a proper, accredited psychotherapist or a professional, I bet they would say he's this.
He's this, and then
that behavioural trait. It's that.
It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because it's a
and
fine
the t-shirt
line.
on the roof thing. I don't even know what that is. We're just going to let him go with that.
Like there's fucking with people like picking you up and shaking you wearing the shorts.
But then the thing about him, right? He wasn't like a little nerdy bloke. He was like a big fucking dude who had guns in the house, who'd like fucking come round and shoot you. He was like, he said a couple of weird, I won't repeat me here, but they were real dodgy shit to me, and I was just like, mate, I don't even want to fucking know, mate. I don't even want to know.
I mean, I've heard that quote where he's like, I don't want to shoot skating unless there's a risk of death.
Yeah.
Or along the lines of that.
But that's not him fucking risking death, it's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And luckily, no one fucking happened, and it is some of the iconic stuff ever, but it's like, fuck me.
Pretty extreme.
Scary,
It's just a fine line, isn't it? 'Cause it could be like, he either knows how he is and he's playing into it, or he doesn't know that he's that way, and that is just him. I think that's just him.
I think he probably knows that he's getting a reaction, and that's probably a lot of it is. But
I don't know how he ended up on a rabbit hole of him, but I can just remember reading about him, like who is he, and I couldn't find anything about him.
Danny Way and jumping out of the helicopter. When did that project? Obviously, you said the helicopter was kind of like a last minute thing.
Danny Way at XYZ.
Yeah.
That was accompanied all that. Like Ben and loads of people rode for them. Chet Thomas rode for them too. They had a shop in Oceanside, in Carlsbad where I lived. So I used to go there a lot. And then Danny and that group, it was they had a warehouse and a snowboard company called Type A.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was all done in one warehouse south, like southeast San Diego. And everyone used to go skate that ramp, so I used to go down with them and shake photos of those guys. So that's how I got to know Danny pretty well, by going down and shooting that. I was sort of Danny's go-to guy for a while. Colin was in it, Pampas Brothers, Ellis. I mean, Shani was in there. There was about probably like 10, 15 regulars that are allowed to skate that ramp.
How do you pronounce Shani's surname?
Shani. Whoa. Nguyen, I always say. Shani.
I don't know.
I don't even know how to Google this.
It's Nguyen. Shani Nguyen. Nguyen.
It's fucking
confusing me now.
Shani.
Hey, do you know who I'm most stoked about lately on Instagram that's come out of the woodwork is Chris Lambert.
He's
on Instagram now, and he's reposting his old clips.
Yeah, he had some good stuff, didn't he? Yeah.
And doing some voiceovers on it, and it's really funny. What are you looking at?
That's not Shani Noan.
He's changed a bit since I've seen him
this
last.
Is fucking. So that instance of Danny Way jumping out of the helicopter, that was kind of like the beginning of the mega ramp era, and where you were around mega ramp times, and
I was at that. That's my photo there, the cover.
Yeah.
So.
Fucking hell, that's a good photo, isn't it? Look at that.
I remember driving. My ex-wife was with me then too, but I said, I'll come down on Sunday, check this out, right? She's over here is like a big plane. It was like a lobster pot plane for bringing lobsters up from Mexico. So everyone's in the shade over here. And everyone was sitting to watching that. And I remember after this, kind of finished like 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I was like, oh fuck, that was just something happened there, didn't it?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
happened, they're not sure what happened there,
But you just
but
know
something happened, didn't
You
it?
just know that it's good.
And then I think the wife or the ex-wife was like, "That was good, wasn't it?" I was like, she was sitting there. It was only probably like maybe 10 people there in the whole thing, but I said, "Oh, you should come down and check this out." She was sitting in the deck chair watching it all, like no, you know. Well, I think Grant might have brought his wife, but it was just like I said, "Oh, come down, you'll enjoy this."
Yeah.
And then
Guy jumps out of a helicopter.
Just like, yeah.
Yes.
But that was so much more. So at the time, world record for air was about 12, 13 foot. Danny did a kickflip indie grab at 15 feet before he went to like 16. And they built it again then, didn't they, for the, don't even know what the world record is now.
Fuck
Depending on the size of the transition.
I mean, some of those ramps there, I mean, Jesus, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
but I like this because it didn't have, I'm not saying I don't like the gap in the mega ramp. I do like the gap, but I like this because it was like an instantly kind of recognizable transition from vert. There's a bigger transition. Now you're going to go higher. Like the thing of rolling down the hill and that went to like a whole another level then, didn't it? Of like, oh fuck, here we go. It's like, that's a lot of stuff to me that can't comprehend that. This I can comprehend more. But this, I think, it came from Matt Hoffman, didn't it? Hoffman did it first on the big transition with the two.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Danny would have said that. And it sounds simple now, but ramps at the time were 10.5 foot transition. I don't even know what this would have been. 20 feet, maybe? That's a good question. Yeah, 20 feet. With not that much vert, with 1.5 foot of vert. There's not a lot of vert on it because it just shoots you up.
So where it's obvious where you were stood when you shot the photo, but are you?
Is it like?
Are you on? I was just about to say, were you on the opposite side of the ramp, zoomed in?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Because you're pretty.
And then.
That looks high up, like level.
Yeah, I'm with with an 80 to 200, and the only reason I'm up on this looking that way is because everyone else is on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 really good skateboard photographers there. So you couldn't shoot anything fisheye with it because you just go.
I was going to say.
Go to an ant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody ever went up on that wall to look at it. I think they didn't have a crew of their Thai filming it. Thai Evans there, right?
Yeah.
In the thing. There's Ballard on the side doing the thing. It's not like a massive. Not the crew that you'd have now filming it.
It's mental,
Made that
isn't
in
it?
a third try.
So is that shot on film?
Yeah, in a sequence.
I wonder what the pilots think of that stuff. Like, oh, just gonna go chuck
Probably
some
don't give
guy
a
out
fuck,
of a
it's
helicopter.
I think those guys do stunt driving all the time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Especially, I guess, the film
They
industry
came down and
stuff
went
like that.
underneath the San Diego bridge, the bridge, and they came down and like they just,
Just do that shit
Could
all
you
the time.
imagine being in Ty Evans' shoes there, sitting on the edge of a helicopter, open door, filming fisheye?
Is he even strapped in?
No. Yeah, he'd have the seatbelt on, wouldn't he?
Must have been round his waist.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it? Is it? Yeah. So that's a still from the sequence.
This is the seat here, look. You can see the seat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not got a
No,
strap.
Literally on the edge of the seat.
No.
This person here is probably holding onto it.
How was the sequence run in the mag?
And that's so loud, right?
Yeah, I bet.
You know
yeah.
the chopper, right? You got to be in it. Comes in. Yeah.
Did the sequence was run as well in that issue, or?
I don't think it did. But then when you got you fighting for space and all that, and you have so many, Grant's on it, Dave Swift's on it, they're the editors and the photo editor,
Charge
and then
up.
Dan Sturt's in the background there.
Can you actually see him?
No, you can't, but he is in the background, isn't he? He only did it once.
He's there under a camo thing,
but
I
the
bet.
photo that he did is long from the desert.
Yeah, I guess it just adds more to the whole thing of already the fucking gnarly jumping out of a helicopter scenario, doesn't it? It's like
So that used people to approach people all the time. That was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you'd be like, you'd be at a contest, you get the angle, someone will come behind you,
Poached.
do. So that's 2, yeah. So he's poached from over there. He's fucking quite far away there. He's over,
He got air hangers there and everything in his way.
Must have been
That's
on the
weird
side.
because the photo, I always thought he came out in the helicopter once because the one that was in the magazine was from a long, long way away from behind it.
We'll have a look into it and find out.
Weird. And that's Trick Tip's mental as well. Have you seen that? Go to Trick Tip with Sturt. He fully, he shoots this himself. We get someone to shoot a sequence and he, like, 360s out of a...
I don't think I've ever seen
Oh,
that.
he's out of the swing, yeah.
Oh, and he did the fucking, where he used to skate, right? He's a good skater, Sturt was. He put blood in his knee pads, and at an NSA contest, he went down and went like, fuck. Like, and everyone was just running to him like he'd killed himself, but he just put blood packs in his fucking knee pads.
Fucking hell.
For shits and giggles.
Jeez.
That's brilliant, that is, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So who shot that then?
I don't know.
Johnny down.
Johnny passed away.
That's
Johnny was
not
a good
bad
friend of
shooting,
his.
really,
Yeah,
is it?
brilliant,
Like-
isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry, just want to talk a bit more about Danny Way and the Mega Ram stuff. So did you obviously were there with the helicopter and then you saw that change of the ramps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And how was that shooting that kind of stuff? Because it's like...
Well, right when that happened, was that 97, 98? That would have been the summer of 98. I left quite soon after that. I went back to the... But then I came back in 2000, 2001, and that's when I did the other... That was the first one, went down the hill. That was for the DC video. In the valley, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to that one quite a bit as well.
Like, I'd love to have been in on a session at a Mega Ramp, how that all unfolds. Because that's high stakes shit, isn't it? Like,
But if you see it, right, it's like one in, that's it there. One air, one trick, out. It's not, you're not, like he might have done lines, but he's like got a trick he's going to do, and then, you know, and that's it, off he goes. But then Danny, fucking hell, Danny was so good. He was so good. I mean, the first really to do, you know, kickflip indies are like 8-9 foot. You know, he would go real big down XYZ, and he took that, you know, really to the next level.
I never knew that.
And I think underrated, really, in today's terms, is when we talk about greats of what people have done, and as we see it, you know, especially when you put like questionable into the mix, and you talk about the first Plan B video, you're like, fuck.
They
That's
basically
like
took street skating
10
to
years
vert.
of just like, yeah.
You know, like him and Colin McKay, they everything that everyone would, so everyone had gone from vert to bashing their board off the ground to do switch this, that, and the other. Then they took that back to vert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you
fucking
ever
Colin
know-
McKay, unreal.
Did you ever know? I only learnt this recently because I watched a documentary. When he jumps the Great Wall of China, the day before he bails it and
Smashes
does both
it,
of his feet real bad,
And he's spraining his ankle or
and he's
something.
looking around everywhere for like doctors and like thicker inner soles and stuff, and he still does it with the two bad ankles as well. That's fucking insane.
I got a good Danny Way story.
Yeah, let's hear it. We're here for the stories.
He got Sean Rogers was the filmer and like the DC team manager, and really close friends with Danny. And when you have knee ligament surgery, you can only go over under local anaesthetic maybe twice a year. They'll only put you under again in case they won't, unless it's emergency. So it's like here, right? It's not good for you, local anaesthetic. They'll only like do it once or twice. So Danny hears about this thing in Austria where you can go and get it done on a hobble, or just the doctors will do it for like $5,000. So Sean goes, oh, have a look at this. I'm like, oh my God. He showed me the video, right? I go into an Austrian hospital, 2 doctors there on the weekend, like doing a thing on the side. This is knee replacement now, right? Like ligaments.
Not ligaments, full.
It's
knee.
full, like a ligament replacement, but with either, I think it might be synthetic. There's only certain places you can do it synthetic. There's only certain countries that do that. Austria did it. I think it's Austria, Switzerland. They give him an epidural. Epidural, put the screen down, and then just batter the shit out of him. And he's filming all this. I'm like, oh my God. And this fucking carnage when that, like, they don't go in like, they batter the knee, they get to clean it out, you know, there's like, you know, it looks like fucking like a sawmill in there. Danny's like, oh, it's wearing off. You're like, oh, not longer now, you'll be all right. You go, right, you got to stay the night. Nope. On a plane, back to San Diego next day. Like, next level of, there's gnarly than there's gnarly, you know what I mean?
I mean, I've seen the videos
like
of him.
flying to get a fucking knee surgery and then like, so gnarly.
Yeah,
I can't even, I mean, I don't like going to the dentist.
He's getting
Gnarly.
his
Yeah,
knees smacked
just,
out.
just getting, yeah. And they put screws in, don't they? It's all like titanium. They're not like little. They're like,
Yeah.
fucking gnarly.
There were some videos I saw of Danny Way fairly recently where he's having General Anaesthetic and he's fighting it.
Yeah.
Talking to the camera to show how much he can take.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny as fuck, but also it's kind of sad. But like, he's there like talking like, and he's slowly slurring his speech, but he's still there like. You gotta see it. We'll find it. It's like, I mean, there's no doubting Danny Way is fucking gnarly.
Think how many? Oh my god, he didn't even list how many things have been broken. How many bashes? Fucking hell. I mean, when the street guys go down, but when the vert guys go down, it's like.
It's horrific.
They go down gnarly, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everyone goes down, but it's like, oh.
Also, if you're going under anaesthetic, I want to be out cold as quickly as possible. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if there's some challenge. I'm out.
Oh. I got another good story too. So, Steve Bevan, Steve Bevan, you know Steve Bevan. He had this, he had a sidewalk cover, no slide.
Steve who?
Steve Bevan.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
like an old
yeah.
street skater.
Yeah.
And then he used to go to Dublin and skate in Dublin, and there was a skater there, Irish guy, and he was a skater, but he was the kid and his brother that fought all the gangs that come in and try to skateboard. So he was like the hard kid of the hard kids in Dublin. Steve's like, he's always battered and bruised, he's always fighting. So when the Plan B team came down to do a demo in Swansea, it was rained off at Morpher. They went inside the NCP car park. Rick Howard, Colin, Danny Way.
That was early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. Just like fucking 15, like a handful of like 5 skaters. But this Irish kid was there. Then they all went, oh, come for food with us, we go for a beer. They went, go down to Mumbles, right, this like tourist spot.
Yeah.
And for a joke, they buy 10 Mumbles, because they were all like, it was the Rocco days, right, it was all jokes. They buy 10 Mumbles Lighthouse t-shirts, right, and pretend they're like Plan B t-shirts and sell them for like 50 quid or whatever. So this Irish kid buys them, right, looks at it, sees it's a joke, chases them into the van, right, he's trying to rip the doors off. Danny Way's there too, all of them, just fucking all of them. The whole team is in the back of the van with this kid just trying to like fucking kill him basically for fucking ripping him off with the thing.
Did he get the money back?
Probably. But Bevan was telling me this story the other day. I was like, oh my god! But you can just imagine it, can you? Like you know, something going simply wrong.
I remember it wasn't G97. There was another event in London where they had a vert ramp and Bucky was over for it and Danny Way. And I don't know who was on the mic, but they were taking trick requests from the crowd, and some guy was like, "I'll give you 1,000 quid to do a ho-ho." So Danny Way just within seconds drops in, does it, and then the guy obviously realizes, oh shit,
Yeah.
and he starts to leave, and Danny Way follows him.
Wow, man.
So I don't know how they ended, but anyway, fucking hell, we went off on a tangent there with old D-Way, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right. What should we talk about now? How things at Transworld? Well, I know you've spoken about it before and stuff, but like it all kind of like
It just went tits up.
it just went tits up. Do you want to talk about that, or are you over that?
Yeah, I just think I don't know. It's just it's nothing. It happened everywhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Transworld weren't the only magazine to go. Loads of magazines went. I think that's just the way. It's just a result of what happened digitally. I think. I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about it. I think it's there as in history, which is good. There's a lot of good work there. I just think it could have been. I don't know. Some of it makes me sad. I try not to think about it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But a lot of me is like, it's just all that work. Kind of, it doesn't sit anywhere. It's not anywhere. It can't really be seen. It'd be nice. I don't know. It'd be nice if there was more about it, but it's not.
I think it will probably come round though that will be looked back on as that's a time period within skating, and you know how skating is. It's up and down and things change.
Yeah.
But that is a solid body of work that you were involved in for a long time.
When everyone was involved in it, but I think it was always nice, like, you know, you get your checkup first, you'd have this, and you'd have a spotlight. It was always, a lot of it was not coming of age, but it was the certain things that you went through. The process. And especially some of all that like Grant's photography of Nars and Mark and all that O's photography in there. I mean, it was just just so good. You look at the old some of the old mags, the layouts, the way it all was. It was just really well done.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I don't know if that editorial's there anymore. That or whatever it was or is. It's. I don't know. And I like the way they sort of covered everywhere too. And they give everyone a shot. So it was. They travelled a lot. They went to different places. There was a lot of different stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's there for sure, but it's more. I don't know. Yeah, some of it makes me. I just try not to think about it. To be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did get to keep all my photos, which was good.
Yeah.
I don't think if you'd signed it, other people have signed. I know, like a guy. Because we had lots of sister mags in New York. One guy worked for Popular Science, and they just skipped all his stuff in a day. Just went in, gone. All his life's work in a skip. Sayonara. So a lot of stuff happens like that. A lot of like stuff just gets thrown. So luckily, it all was pretty much saved.
Yeah.
Did you have to go in and save that stuff, like, or did somebody else?
Yeah,
do
I
it?
took it out. So I knew I was sort of getting. I got like 3 months to kind of get out, So in that 3 months, I moved everything.
Yeah.
Everyone who knew they were going to go sort of took everything out, so they had it, but there was never like no contract. There was no signature where you give them the copyright.
So you still own all of those photos?
And all, yeah, theoretically. And then everyone who contributed, they owned the copyright for a year. Then the copyright went back to the contributor. So everyone kept, should have sort of kept all the photos.
Were there any photos lost in the process of it all?
Yeah, bits and bobs, but not a lot. It never went out in chunks like it could have gone. I know a lot of like there were a lot of prints left there which I kept. I was trying to like really, cause when the guys left the skateboard mag, which was like 10 of everybody, there was just these fucking files and files. I took like a file the size of this room, filing cabinets, 40 feet of filing cabinets with just photos, prints in. I kept some of the prints, but then I was trying to catalog it and maintain it, but I kind of gave up because it's just too much work.
Yeah.
So I did that in the move. I just chucked, most of it was just chuck bales and, you know what I mean? What can you do with it? It's just
You need space to store it, and like you say, it needs to be catalogued. And
and everyone took whatever they want, so it wasn't like anyone was chucking out whatever they didn't want, so.
Yeah.
But I think like pretty much everyone got their slides back, there's bits and bobs here and there, but in general. Yeah, it was hard though. It was it was just to go and just, because it moved, the whole building moved, and when we moved it like shifted all, which was it was just probably 4 months of work just shifting everything.
Yeah.
We should probably let the listeners know about the Patreon that we're starting. Do you want to give them some information about that?
Yes, I will. So from as little as £2 a month, you can become a Patreon member and get access to uncensored, uncut episodes, behind the scenes shiz, bonus OG episodes. What does that mean, Forde?
Like the episodes that we used to, like it was just me and Toby doing reviews, fan mail, and anything else in between. And Toby's favourite, Stinker of the Week.
Stinker of the Week is back, but only on Patreon episodes. You will also get outtakes, early access to new merch when it launches, general skate nerdery, and much, 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 much more.
Make sure you check out all the information in the description, follow the links, make sure you subscribe, become a member, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Should we talk about your time at Adidas? How did that all come about? And
I knew I was on the way out on 2012, 2013 when it went pear-shaped with Transworld.
Yeah.
But I'd known Yash, I knew Matt Irving quite well. And
Yeah.
It seemed like just a simple transition.
And you were still in California at that point?
Yeah, still in San Diego.
Right.
Then I kind of I didn't know everyone on the team, but I had a decent relationship with Mark, and I traveled with everyone. I did this thing in London with Mark the year before. I knew pretty much everyone on the team one way or another. Silas I'd known from a long time ago. We did this. Silas was on that AM trip that we did to Australia with Dylan, and that like good year of when we picked all the next AMs. So it just seemed like, and I liked Adidas since I was a kid. It seemed like a good.
And what was your job title?
team manager. I was global team manager. Probably looking after like 50, 60 people, sending out shoes, doing all the travel.
I was about to say, what is the main roles of a team manager for a company that big?
It was a lot. It was a lot of work because it was like on a globe. You know, it was big, interesting, but quite difficult because it was so much. Every shoe had to be typed out. There was no, you know, everything had to be. It wasn't like, oh, we'll have click, 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 click. It wasn't like everything had to be. It was a different way of working, doing all the world travel, booking all that for everyone, make sure everyone had shoes, and then we like, this, between me and Yash, we got signed Tyshawn, that, you know.
Yeah.
Miles, Tyshawn, Nickel, they all come. We were there. I did help do that. That was really good. That worked out really good for, you know. That was a really good move. So I don't know, just getting hit up all the time for people to ride. It was quite
At
difficult.
all hours of the day.
Oh my God, yeah. People were just so many people that hit us up to ride for them, that was hard to say no, but then it was. I mean, the team were really good. The global traveling was really nice. I got to see more places than ever before. That was loads of traveling, which was good.
Did your
worked on
role...
away days all the way through?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Good video.
Did your time at Adidas? How do you say it? Do you say Adidas or Adidas?
I mean, I say Adidas here, but
Adidas. As a team manager, were you also then brought in to shoot photos on those trips and do that kind of thing as well? That was just part and parcel.
And then Sam Rubio was the main photographer, and then I just copied Sam's rig. Yeah. And if something was down, there was like quite a lot of shoe photography at the agencies. Yeah. So it was good extra money and ads here and there, which was really good. It was just really good. It was just good. Going to Portland all the time. Went to Germany quite a few times with it. It was good. Looking back, it was a lot of travel, but it was busy, and the program was stepping up. It was getting better, you know. It was getting good. Hang out with Mark all the time, and just being able to shoot everyone was good. Yeah.
I mean, working with them here at Snakes is quite good fun. You know, they do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're always getting invites to do this, and you're going to Manchester on Thursday for the
Lucas Puig wear test to film that.
Yeah. They're doing stuff.
Yeah, they do.
It's, you know, and Chris Chat is a legend.
They've always seemed like
nice
a much
dude.
more of a footwear company on that scale. They've always seemed like a more friendly footwear company in skateboarding. You know what I mean? Like, look how long Mark's been on it and everything like that, and what they've put back into it.
And I think it's Yasha and there's skateboarders that run it too. I mean, it's like Colin in it and Mackie. It's nice. It's like behind the marketing, it's actually like real skateboards doing it. I think that you see that in what comes out at the end of the product, and especially the video, whatever you see, it's you can tell it's done by skateboarders.
Yeah, Benny's looking after the. Is he doing?
Benny's doing
global team now.
Yeah.
He came, but we did the bench tour thing. He was here, wasn't he? And with Dan Fisher.
Was Gustav here on that one? Yeah, he was here.
Gustav Thompson,
yeah, good bunch. It's good. How did that all come to an end? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I got diagnosed bipolar.
I wanted to talk to you about that as well.
10, 15 years ago, and then basically it was just too much stress, couldn't do it. Kind of like just, luckily nothing. Me more had a manic episode, ended up in Swansea getting locked up, did like a month in hospital down there. That was like the end of it. That was 2016.
So do you think that the pressures of that role...
I think it was just...
Or was it something you were aware... I'm talking about being bipolar. Was that something you were aware of or had an inkling or anything like that before?
First time it happened, I went on this seminar maybe in 2012, and I couldn't like stop thinking that this seminar I went on, there was like 3 months of not really sleeping. Yeah. Not knowing now, but that was the first like 3-month manic episode. I ended up hospitalized after that. Kind of like pushed it under the bridge a little bit, and then cracked on, and then got in and like once or twice with Adidas, and then I kind of accepted it when I was back, when I knew that it was like kind of all a bit too late, not too late, but what it was. And then since then, it's just been it's been constant treatment really, like non-stop. But yeah. But then I was on a lithium program for 2 years, and I was doing that, and then I told the social worker, I said like, I cannot do fucking anything, any spark or any inkling I had to go out and do anything, I can't do it. She said, well, 800 milligrams of fucking lithium a day, you can't do anything. So I was like, fuck, right, I'm gonna stop. I just cannot do it anymore, because I don't even know when you do so much of that, you don't even know what you feel like, what the drugs are taking control. It's hard. I stopped that a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I stopped taking lithium.
Is lithium the go-to medication for bipolar? And
yeah, and it's the gold standard. It's the one that they did for schizophrenia.
Right. Okay. So I'm just interested, like, what is it that lithium? I'm just seeing what you're googling there, Fraser. But like,
it's a mood stabilizer.
It's a mood stabilizer. It's a water. It's in the
exact
lithium
mechanism. The way it works isn't actually known.
But you have to take blood tests every 3 weeks and every 3 months, or less than that, 2 months, to make sure that your lithium levels are right. Because if you do it wrong, it can kill you.
Fucking hell.
No.
So you were on 800 milligrams a day?
Yeah, well, and if you had an episode, they'd up the grams.
Well, according to this journal, they no longer prescribe it because it has toxic effects on the thyroid gland.
Yeah.
So you did. So 18 months ago, you were just like, "Fuck this, I can't do it."
But so I was doing. So I was in therapy from 2016, like till now. I'm a social worker now. I still check in with them. But that's more like just like a check-in kind of thing, you know. But then I did this. I did therapy for maybe half a year with this really cool psychiatrist who studied he specialized in post-traumatic stress disorder with soldiers, because there's loads of that, you know. And then he explained to me getting it all out. That really helped, you know, go through what you do with the child or whatever that is. That's always there. So that really helped. But then I learned the what's it called? What do you call it? It's OB. It's what you do. You learn it by staying. He said 2 steps, but you stay 3 steps away of what you think might get you into trouble or get you into. I know it sounds easy. It's called conjugal behavior therapy.
Right.
So it's a theory that you learn. So you just, let me say, like, say you're in school and they go, well, you're rubbish, you're never going to mount to anything. Oh, I'm rubbish, I'm never going to mount to anything. So what else you do? You fucking start robbing, stealing, fighting. Before what's set there, that's set in your head that you like that. But you're not like that. The teachers have told you that. But you take this wrong path. We all of us done it. Not all of us, but some of us done it. So you sort of, so you sort of stay. So now, Swansea's rough. It's like crackhead, move over. Oh, there's the pub, people outside. But if I sit down and someone will say something to me, I just get up and move. I don't even like work for the next thing, or I don't even like get, you know, it's like you go to the pub, I just be like, someone says something to me, I don't even look. I just get up and move. I just go away. I just stay away from anything that could set me off, get me angry. I just don't even go near it. So I try to stay away. 3 steps, not 1 step, because you like 1 step, you're in it.
Yeah.
There's so much, it's like that in Swansea. You're probably like, there's loads of crack down there. There's loads of crackheads. There's always someone like looking for something down there. So trying to stay away from anything that could lead you into, because I've been in a little bit of trouble, not big trouble, but it's just petty shit. But yeah, I just try to like sort of stay away from it.
Yeah.
So what's the like, say so if this is too deep, but like, what's the if you're not medicated, is it just a case of you're practicing that 3-step thing where you just stay away?
But then like they call it depression's quite easy to deal with. Usually you sleep or you just like pass it off. It's not like, but a manic episode, I can tell if I don't like sleep a night or two, I can go into a manic episode. You can just feel it by not sleeping. You get worked up. I might take something to just slow me down a little bit to get me going. I have bits and bobs, just like, not bits and bobs, just certain medication will just stop you going on a rant. And that's what I'll do. I'll just slow down by that. Every like 8 months, 9 months, anything can trigger that though, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think that's what happens with depression or mental illness as a whole. Like a bad thought, I turn into a fucking bad day, bad week.
Oh, it goes on.
A fucking month had gone in, like another month had gone. I'm dwelling on this shit. Well, and anything can happen to you, can it?
Yeah.
Especially with social media and everything. Like social media can make you depressed, like by just looking at how happy everyone else is. And I couldn't give up drinking because of Swansea. I just couldn't give it up. I couldn't stop. And then I did classes, just doing moderation.
Yeah.
So now that's all the drinking's in, the drinking's in moderation. It's not like I don't drink whiskey, but I don't go crazy at the bar.
Doing it all at once.
I just have this clock of like, right, okay, time to go home now. It's just all like, it's a little bit more.
I think it's really good to talk about this stuff though, because
it
like
is.
Well, Munson spoke about it.
Yeah,
and it was really good.
Skateboarding attracts a very like, what's the word? Fucking hell.
I think you need an addictive personality.
Addictive personality.
Yeah.
It attracts a lot of people with that personality.
And
for so long, it's been like, don't talk about that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No one just all like that. And now obviously it's really sad that this shit happened like Reimers, and it's good that we're talking about it, but there's still more needs to be done. But
it is the hardest thing to talk about as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I bet.
I'm struggling. I'm fucking going mental. I'm going suicidal thoughts. I'm depressed. I'm unhappy. No one wants to talk like that. No one ever talks like that on social media. No one ever reaches out on social media. No one it's all, we're all great. Everything's fine. You know what? It's not fine. It's not all good.
Oh yeah.
And the only way you can do that is talking to people and getting and going and getting help. And because there's people there, and there's friends there, there's family there. If you're lucky, you know what I mean. There's definitely, and I think the only way it helps is to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you're not gonna. If you just bottle it all up again and again and again, you just that's just ready to explode, isn't it?
How did you feel when they gave you the diagnosis of bipolar?
I didn't believe it. He said I was schizophrenic first. I was like, I didn't even believe that. Two parts of me didn't believe that. No, I'm joking.
Fuck's sake.
I was fully engrossed in it.
Fucking hell.
I was fully sat here like this, like really into it, and it took a minute to
No, yeah, it was.
Was there a moment when the switch flipped for you?
You kind of, when I was back in Swansea for probably maybe the third time I was hospitalised, I knew someone there in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine. It's a funny story because Mike writes all the reports up on everyone in the main kind of ward. It's a bit like One Flew the Cuckoos. The first time I went there, it was definitely a bit scary. And I see Mike in the pub. He goes, the head doctor goes, got a bloke in here now, thinks he's a world famous skateboard photographer.
Oh my God.
And Mike's like, well, actually he is. And then Mike's like, it's not surprising, we got a bloke up here now who thinks he's Joan of Arc. So it's it's funny looking back, but it's it's all what have you done? What have you done now? I always feel like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I always get the feeling fucking people talk to me like I'm 4 now and again, what have you done wrong this time? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was tough. Yeah, I think it was tough just losing, I won't say everything. My son's still over there, I talked to him, but that lifestyle just went, as quick as it went, built up, it disappeared pretty fast, Couldn't look at my photos for ages. It's only maybe in the last 6 months since I've been helping Neil McDonald out. He's been looking at the photos, helping on the book. Since Neil's been helping me, it's the first time that I've sort of come out of the shell really through Neil. I don't think I would have. I can't. It's too much emotion.
Yeah.
Looking at it, it's hard to look back all the time, you know. Yeah. But I didn't burn them. I didn't trash them. I knew they would be that they needed to be preserved, so I didn't. But it's a fine line, isn't it? It's like, you know, when artists burn all this shit. It's like when Muska burns his stuff, and you like fucking all like artists just don't give a fuck. I don't care anymore. I don't want it. I don't like it. I can't look at it. It's hard when it becomes. It turns in from this. It's just editorial photos. Now it's something else. Now it's stuff that can be in shows or seen in different ways. I'm all right with it, but it's not like, I don't know.
Are you still shooting anything at all?
Yeah, I'm doing some photos, bits and bobs for sure. I shot last week, some band stuff. I'm doing some stuff next week, and I'm doing a big photo show in Swansea on September 12th in a big gallery, the Glifberg. I've been commissioned to do some stuff for that. So.
Is that like what you're doing most at the moment for like
sort
work
of, yeah, but
it's stuff?
Like that's like it takes a long time and it's slow. The gallery space is really big, so I'm doing it's more like the biggest show I've done. It's up for 2 months down there too, so that'll be good. And it's in like a proper. It's not all the stuff I've done before has been private, so this is like a real, proper, a real gallery. Yeah, which is good. So I've been working on that for like the last 4 months, 5 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
You shot with Keenan, didn't you? Keenan Milton.
Yeah.
What was he like to hang out with?
Keenan was lovely, sweetheart, absolute gent. Lovely boy.
Shame,
yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah, all those guys were so good. Yeah. Looks like one of those naturals that didn't really try, wasn't it? But then that I thought that always felt that New York. Oh, when did I go to New York? 95. Like went out with the girl guys in 95, and then Huff was like, "Oh, you want to come shoot photos in the night?" It was just me and Huff, and we just skated around New York all night together.
That's
I
good.
was just like, "Fuck it, this is different, you know. This is like the way they push, how fast they went everywhere, or like just trying to keep up with everyone on the street.
How was that trying to keep
like,
up with him with all your gear?
Impossible.
Yeah.
Backpacks were smaller then. I didn't have everything, but it was like. It was just this different. You could see it was like a different
breed.
Yeah, well, people didn't. You don't really skate like that around LA. You go to schoolyards. You might hop and do them. There's some streets you go down, but it's not like in New York or Philly that you go spot to spot. You go spot to spot in Barcelona and places like that. But I remember like trying to keep up with Huff, thinking, "Oh fucking hell, this was."
I'm done.
Yeah, it was all right, but it was just I was younger then, and slimmer, but it was like. Doing stuff like that. I still got those photos they've been seen, but it was all 95. That was a really good trip with the girl and shot the guys. But then Chris Keefe, Huff, I met all those guys kind of early on in New York, so I met all the New York crew quite. I got on with them because New York's a bit more European. It's not really like. It's not really like LA, is it? It's different. It's more. Yeah. It's definitely more like here.
I like East Coast stuff. I like explaining to people that don't necessarily skate. When you say like Huff's name or Bobby Pulio's name, when you say like there's skateboarders, there's street skateboarders, but then there's real street skateboarders.
Yeah, it's a different
thing. Like Ricky Oyola and those guys.
Yeah.
Like Huff is a real street skateboarder.
Yeah.
No matter like where they're at in skating, you'll just see them still skating down an alleyway.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, that shit's rad. Yeah,
Huff. And New York is rough as well, isn't it? Like the spots are rough. All that like.
Getting from spot to spot
is hard, It's all
everything's busy.
Yeah, and all that, all the doors, the cellar doors, and all that. It's just something about.
It's a whole subgenre of skating, and it's cellar doors like on the East Coast. I filmed some cellar door clips when I was last out there for my next video, so I'm stoked. Love a good cellar door. Is there anyone else you'd like to ask?
I'm just racking my brains
now. You'd like to ask Mr. Skin Phillips if he's hung out with.
What was it like hanging out with Deerdeck? And partying with Deerdeck?
It was good. I remember he had talk about the Civic, right? He had a Civic, a really nice Civic. He's like, I'm gonna get an Audi A4. I was like, player. Bought an Audi A4. He's like, I'm gonna been reading this book. He has a Rolex on, right? He has a Rolex. Oh, I got a Rolex. I'm like, player, nice. been reading this book. It's called The Millionaire Next Door, right? Yeah. I said, if I'm reading this book now, how to save and do everything, I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm like, go on. Player. But then, Rob was just really nice, just play golf. We used to hang out all the time. And then I came back to Wales. He gave me these, he said, my techniques aren't going to work. He said, I have these. You give me these Japanese techniques. They were 120, 240 volt. As a sort of going away present, you know what I mean? He was just super nice, like really. But the Rob was a bit in that sort of Guy Mariano mold. The stuff they did was so hard and so kind of out there. Lots of it never been done. I think that's why you don't see a lot of like, there's not much data footage out there, is it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's funny though. He's really, but that was before he lived with, John Drake. They all lived in a little tiny little beach house together. They weren't kind of one till DC, till all that, that all that money took off, and then all the TVs. That was way before, all of that.
Last question, please, Simon. Is there anyone just still to this day that
I could sit here for hours?
You stay in contact with frequently from?
Chewy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Chewy Cannon.
Yeah, Chewy all checks in on me.
Yeah, I love Chewy Cannon.
Chewy's been brilliant.
He was always really nice. I met him in Spain. He was always really nice to me.
Hensley tracks me down. If I am heard, he'll get a new number. I'm on my 12th burner since I've been back, right?
Yeah.
My 12th phone number. Like, fuck.
What, do you keep losing them or?
No, I just keep getting into all sorts. I just change phones now and again. Fucking nightmare. And then
big fans of Matt Hensley over here.
Yeah, Hensley's been brilliant. Yeah, lots of people sort of check in now and again. It's been, but not like, I kind of really lost touch with everyone really,
Yeah.
You do though, you don't, it's just,
even if you move city, you lose touch with people.
It's just weird, and then people are so busy, everyone's got, even my friends here, they got kids.
Time flies as well, doesn't it? Before you know it, it's like
different responsibilities, and then it's been 6 years now since I left, 6.5.
Yeah.
Fuck me, it's gone quick.
Yeah.
I talk to Sam every week. That's all right. He's doing really good. So my kid's a jazz drummer over in America, San Diego. He's doing good. As long as everyone's healthy, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Have you got any plans to go back out at all? Or?
I don't think so. I want to go to Tobago or flipping Thailand or somewhere where you can just go on a beach and just do nothing.
Just chill out, yeah.
Malaga, that'd be good for a weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's do it. You can fly to Malaga from East Midlands.
That's it, we'll go there now. Right, you're going to follow us to Malaga?
Or somewhere where you don't have to do anything. I like the idea of just like tapas, cold beer,
sit down.
Beach. I can just not even, I haven't done that for like so long, not thinking about,
I've just came back from a week of doing that with the heroin team in Bilbao.
Brilliant.
Bilbao was nice.
Oh, I got it before we go. I haven't got any prints down the house, but I got them.
Oh my God, Skin's bought something for us. Forde, Skin's bought something for us.
Is it Chewy Cannon in the bag?
I just like to say I want first dibs on everything.
No, you had first dibs on the Defbox stuff.
Oh, I only got a Defbox sticker.
Yeah, but you had first dibs.
Luckily, these are all the same, so you don't have to fight.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Oh my God.
Oh, meanwhile.
Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, dude.
And then one for your boy and the girl downstairs too, right?
Oh, look at that.
Mr. Gonzales.
Oh.
Well, we'll make sure we get a nice photo of Skin holding one up.
Thank you. That's amazing. Really appreciate that.
Well, if it ever comes to it where you want to dig through the photos and display them, and you need a place in the Midlands that has enough room to display them all, and you want to do that, just feel free to do it here. I'll film the whole event, and we'll.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
But yeah, whenever you're ready to do that.
Okay, Skin.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Really stoked.
If you want to come on, if you go home and you think, fuck, I should have said that, and you want to come on for a part 2 anytime, just give us a shout, and we'll take you to Derby Beach, and we'll just go lounge around on the stone beach.
Is there a beach?
There's one at Darley Abbey that me and Will go.
There's a couple.
Oh yeah, by the fucking dirty river. Skin, thanks, dude.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed that. We could have spoken for a lot longer, but I think the listeners probably would have cocked out. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.